What's at sportsanimalug.com. I'm Justin Grossweiner.
You just finished listening to The Bald-Faced Truth Unfiltered with John Canzano. For more local sports, stick around for a few moments to listen to The Drive with me, Danny Havel, along with my best friends, Justin Grossweiner and Steve Mims, on the Sports Animal Audio Network. KORE, Springfield, Eugene. I'm Danny Havel. You can listen to me on The Drive, weekdays from 3 to 6 on the Sports Animal Eugene.
10, 9, 7,
Dude, I am
6,
totally stuck.
5,
It's
4,
about time.
3,
My God!
2,
Okay, it's happening.
1.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start.
You're listening to Oregon's premier afternoon sports show. This is The Drive.
Ooh, welcome, friend. It is a Wednesday, over the hump day, downhill fly to the weekend, and you have The Drive. What lucky, lucky people you are. The next 3 hours, free entertainment, streaming through your radios, your computers, on your phones, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, online at sportsanimalug.com. And on great radio stations throughout the state of Oregon. The Ace Sports Radio, 107.9, 1300 AM in Medford. The coast, we got you covered in the Central Coast on Fox Sports Newport KNCU. In Roseburg, the Score, 1490 AM, 92.3 FM. And our good friends, hello, Klamath Basin. Klamath Falls, KLAD, AM 960 Sports. We're live from Bigfoot Beverages Studios. Your participation is welcome. On the Oregon Man Clinics hotline, 541-844-3484, live and local in Eugene. Toll free, we'll pay for the call, 877-844-3484. I'm Doc. That's what my friends call me. You can call me that anytime, anywhere. Just don't call me late for dinner. And my tag team partner, the second amigo. We're missing a third amigo, but the second amigo is here. Justin Alexander Grossweiner, Baby J. What up, boy?
Hello. We are here, just you and I today, which is going to be perfectly fun. We're used to this, right? We've done this for a little bit.
We did this for half a second.
We did. It was more than
previous
half a second.
life. Yeah,
I
quite
think
a
it
while
was
we did.
Almost 2 years.
You are, besides my wife and my daughter, you're my second longest relationship. And I don't know if that's more of an indictment on me or you. No Steve Mims today. Goose is out playing golf. Good on him. Out with his wife, hanging out at a local golf course, sipping a little wine, hitting that little white ball around. Well, we will hear all about it tomorrow.
Well,
I guarantee we're going to hear all about it tomorrow.
What the goal for me today was, as I was putting together this
survive
show.
and move on.
Well, yeah, that too. It's always survive in advance. I forgot the coach's name. Man, it's the great head coach from North Carolina State that died of cancer.
Jim Valvano.
Yeah,
Jimmy
V. There we go. Yeah, it's a great survive in advance. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. But when I was creating the show today, the goal was to create a show where I hope that Steve regretted not to be here.
Oh, did you succeed?
I think so.
Oh, you knocked it out of the park, man. That's why we call you baby. You knocked it out of the park, baby. Jay. Yes, indeed. Tracy Joyner is going to join us bottom of this first hour. She is the women's soccer coach at the U of O. Undefeated. They're 3-0-1. First time they've done that. Yeah. First time they've done that since 2016, I believe. And we'll talk to the coach because Civil War's coming up on Friday. So we'll talk to Tracy at the
Thursday.
Is it Thursday?
Yeah.
I thought it was Friday. Oh.
Tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Oh, sorry. Oh. Yeah. Well, days run together.
It's all right. I got it covered.
So it's 27th. Okay, yeah, that's tomorrow. What am I thinking? I got football in my mind. I got high school football in my mind as well. And speaking of that, real Josh Wilcox, our dear friend Josh Wilcox, former Duck, former NFL player, is the head coach at Harrisburg. Our traverse around the high school ranks We're going to start spreading it out as well. We'll get some folks from the coast. We'll get some folks from down south as well to join us in the next few weeks. But we'll talk the Harrisburg Eagles and Josh Wilcox building a program there. And always very entertaining. If we can get Josh Wilcox to stay on point, this will be a miracle. Yeah, it'll be a baby Jesus miracle.
Well, I think this is the first time I'll be talking to him with you. Goose and I talked to him maybe 3 months ago or so.
I missed one of those.
Yeah, it was one of those when Goose got him on when you were gone, sort of things.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he's great. I thought it was
Very
an awesome
entertaining.
conversation. Absolutely.
Yeah. And what's wild, it's different because we've had his brother Justin on, who I mistakenly misnamed his wife and kids, which was a really
But he
great piece of
appreciated the
radio.
sentiment.
He did. He goes, I don't know who those are, but I know what you're talking about. I'll never live that down.
Yeah.
But Josh is he's like a cut up, and his brother Justin seems a lot more serious. Did you get that vibe as well?
You know, he was more serious, except for the fact when we brought up Abby's Pizza, that's when he got really, really excited.
Yeah. Because
That
they're local
totally
boys.
broke through.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to ask about Abby's Pizza to Josh as well.
Couple of Dave Wilcox's kids, rest his soul. George Reister, his regular weekly visit on Wednesdays. No car issues that we know of. So George will be on at the bottom of the second hour. And then, yes, the quad guest for the first time, Brant Freeman, who is the voice of Texas State, the Bobcats, who are one of the new entrants in the all-new Pac-12, Pac-8, is going to join us at top of hour number 3, which is the Party Power Hour.
Right. I'm trying to figure out something for that, by the way. Some sort of, I'll figure it out.
You know what?
I'm gonna
anything with Cool and Gang is going to work.
I'll say this isn't the best week for it.
No.
At some point soon, there will be a Party Power Hour thing going on.
So Cool and the Gang, and you cannot go wrong with Cool and the Gang.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that.
Absolutely.
Casey and the Sunshine Band. Now, I'm old school. So there might be, you might have a younger vibe that you can throw in there because that's what you balance it out. But I think
I do balance it. I think I do a little bit of new, a little bit of old, just some stuff that's the problem. When you give me the full authority to do whatever I want, I'm gonna just put in stuff I like. Unfortunately, that's what's just gonna happen. By the way, Texas State, I think, besides maybe Boise State, is the most interesting story in the new Pac-12 to me. That's a school that has only been an FBS member since I think it's 2012.
Yeah.
So the fact that this team and they're led by a great new head coach who's given them
G.G. Kinney
3 straight winning seasons. They haven't had a losing season since I think 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting story to me. And they're a team that I think we could look at a couple years from now and go, wow, Pac-12 got them at the right time.
We'll also be hearing some audio from Dan Lanning because he had his regular availability with the media as they wind down 10 days away from Oregon kickoff against Boise State, 12:30 at Austin Stadium. Same weekend, obviously, Oregon State, they'll be on the road taking on Houston and Willie Fritz's team. So Jamarcus Shepard will unveil his version of the Beavers the same weekend. Some other news and notes for us. We're going to talk about the Akron Zips on the program today. They had a contest. If you hadn't heard about this, it was actually pretty cool. Joe Moorhead, who's the head coach there. Huh?
Until it wasn't.
Well, but they turned it around.
Did they turn it around?
I think they turned it around.
You think I'm going to like the winner?
I think they redeemed themselves.
Okay.
Just like in, God, I'm blanking on it. Come on, Dumb and Dumber. Just when you think you redeemed yourself, they did.
The town's that way. One of the great quotes.
That's great. South Alabama, there's a dynasty challenge, or do we say dynasty? Dynasty.
We'll ask. We should ask.
Who?
We should ask Brad. Brad's really big on pronunciation, so I think we need to ask Brad about that one.
Okay, we will. And then, who's the most overrated NFL team heading into the season? This is an interesting topic. So, your phone calls welcome on those topics or any others. After you listen to an interview, you've got a comment, give us a call. Phone number works, man. Toll free 877-844-3484. I test it every day now. Locally in Eugene at 541-844-3440. You think I'm joking?
I don't.
541-844-3484. The Oregon Man Clinics hotline. It's Danny and Baby J, the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. No Goose, he'll be back tomorrow on the program. So one of the topics we'll talk about here in just a moment, NFL and players agree to focus discipline on 5 health safety fouls. And I got a bunch of mashup in here. I didn't pre-read this.
That's all right. We're going to end with some audio from Oregon midfielder Chloe Chase. So we're going to do mostly NFL, but then we're going to lead up to the Tracy Joyner interview with a little bit of Oregon.
Oh,
soccer.
Chloe Chase, who's one of the breakout kids for Oregon women's soccer. It's awesome.
That's why I'm here.
You save me.
Sometimes my words written on paper do not communicate.
Well,
things
I could have.
as well as
I
my
could
voice.
have read. I could have read a little bit further into it, but I didn't.
Right.
Pat Murphy benches one of his players for not hustling. Brewers lost last night, but the Cubs could not. Cubs lost it in the ninth inning, a walk-off against Arizona. So the Cubs could not make up any ground.
And they lost today 2-0 as well.
Oh, is it done already?
Yep.
Okay. So Cubs are on their regular road trip swoon.
Although they did set a club record
Right.
for
30
30 straight runs
runs
in a row.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even notice at the time, by the way.
Oh, stretching over 2.5 games.
Yeah,
That's what it was. That's pretty incredible.
pretty good.
So when we come back, we'll have that NFL players agreeing to focus on discipline on 5 health and safety. And then Oregon midfielder Chloe Chase. Bottom of this hour, Tracy Joyner. Lots of reasons to stick around here on The Drive. It's Doc, it's Baby J, and it's you on the Sports Animal Audio Network. Be back in a minute.
Our version of the Knucklehead Society have a place to talk sports and life with you. Broadcasting from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios, you're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
At Mercedes-Benz of Eugene, we do things a little bit differently. We're one of the last independently owned automotive dealerships with a young and energetic sales staff, no pressure sales tactics, and you don't have to travel outside of Linn County to get the best deal possible. We have more than 200 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock now, and we invite you to come see for yourself at Mercedes-Benz of Eugene.
Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up for another, oh yeah, that's a Pepper thing. First up is Brian. He likes to iron his shirt to look presentable to his can of Dr. Pepper. What a gentleman. That's a Pepper thing. And Harper, who makes her family clap every time she cracks one open. It's a respect thing. It's also a Pepper thing. Next up, Jayden, who wears a blindfold while sipping because he can't handle the beauty of an ice cold Dr. Pepper can. We get it. It's gorgeous. And oh yeah, it's a Pepper thing. Meanwhile, Big Mike has set up a personal wind machine so every sip comes with that slow motion hair moment. So cinematic. That might be the most Pepper thing I've ever seen. And what drives all this? That one-of-a-kind, delicious, unique blend of 23 flavors. It's a Pepper thing.
Welcome back to yeah, that's a Pepper thing, where Brad just built a miniature spotlight for his Dr. Pepper. Yeah, that's a Pepper thing. Grab a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper at your local retailer today. It's a Pepper thing.
Men like to get the most out of things. We expect results when we hit the gym, and we expect to finish our weekend to-do list. We also expect ourselves to never slow down, even when some things start to get a little harder. Low testosterone levels might be slowing you down. That's when Oregon Man Clinics step in. Sharpen your focus, regain energy levels, and improve your love life with treatment options tailored to you. Get the most out of being a man. Visit us online at our Springfield, Bend, and Albany locations.
Once the Oregon football game is over and you're stuck trying to get out of Autzen or waiting for traffic to lighten up on I-5, wouldn't it be nice to talk about the game? The Sports Animal has your answer. The fifth quarter call-in is a comprehensive look at the Duck game, the Big 12, Pac-12, and all the action from college football. Your calls, audio from the press conferences, and again, your calls on the Oregon Man Clinics hotline, 541-844-3484, or toll-free 877-844-3484. Share your joy. Share your grief. Your opinion on the only call-in program covering the Ducks. The fifth quarter starts immediately after the game ends, here on your number one source for sports in Oregon, the Sports Animal.
Live on stations throughout Oregon. We're sorry, we couldn't stop them.
This isn't a negotiation.
Broadcasting from the Emerald City, Eugene. Let's get back to The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
Some smaller college football programs are doing some pretty ingenious things to try and grab some fan attention. And we'll talk about a couple of those on this program. South Alabama and Akron have a unique way of reaching out to the fans, and I think it might catch on with some of the programs throughout the country. We'll discuss that. Tracy Joyner at the bottom of this hour, hour number 1. Josh Wilcox, George Reister in hour number 2. A full show for you today as we'll have the voice of the Texas State Bobcats, Brant Freeman, on the program in the Party Power Hour or Party Power Hour.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Party Power Hour. I need to write this stuff down. So thanks for tuning in. I'm Danny. That's Justin. Steve is off today. He'll be back tomorrow. Well, he's off most days, but he shows up on those days as well sometimes, but today's not. This is The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network. We're live in Medford, in Klamath Falls, in Ashland, in Roseburg, in Sutherland, in Newport, in Seal Beach, and Nye Beach, or Seal Rock, Nye Beach. We go up into the Tule Lake area as well. So thanks for tuning in wherever and however. Live from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. So, NFL players, you got to help me here with a little bit on this one, Baby J. NFL players are agreeing to focus discipline on 5 health safety fouls. So the rules committees, they look at things every year, right? And part of this is saying, player protection, and, you have the thing which I think got really silly with quarterbacks. Like you could not touch a quarterback anywhere above their chest area or below their knee. Or below their knee, or it was
or at the knee and below. Yeah, poor Clay Matthews. That's who I remember the most getting just absolutely tagged with some of these where it's just like, that's a tackle. Come on, guys. And I still there's some times where a quarterback will get a defender will get charged with the unnecessary roughness, and I'm like, come on, guys, like this is football, and I'm all for player safety, so I get it. But.
So give us some education on
okay,
what
so
we're
it's
about.
the classic. They're going to put a greater emphasis on certain rules. I think they did this. You're saying with the pass interference. I think they technically already did it with the hip drop tackle last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
They're going to include that in one of these 5 rules that they're going to have emphasis on. And what's going to happen is any player who commits 3 of these 5 offenses during a season will get a 1-game suspension. So that includes a hip drop tackle, horse collar tackle, launching, which I believe is the top of your helmet when you're going into a player, hitting on a hit on a defensive player. I think that means supposed to be defenseless player, and blindside block. So if you get 3 of those 5, you're gonna get a 1-game suspension
for the entire. So like if you for the entire season.
A 1 game. Yeah, I think it sounds like it's a cruise over the course of a year.
Okay, so game 1, I get 2 of those.
Yep.
Game 16, I get a 3rd one.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm suspended for game 17, or even worse, game 17, I get my 3rd one. I'm suspended for the first round of the playoffs if my team's in there. That to me has got trouble written all over it, literally. And then what happens if I commit my 4th? Do I keep getting 1-game suspensions after I go over 3, or does it reset and then I got to get 3 more? And then on the next one, I just see this has got trouble written.
And it sounds like there's some money things involved too. So players who commit just 1 violation will get 50% of the amount they are fined back at the conclusion of the season. Players who commit just one, that's so funny, just 1 offense in other eligible categories receive the full amount of their fine returned to them at the end of the season. So they're given a monetary carrot and stick situation.
Folks, I just
the NFL's done it again, guys.
They have taken. So here's the thing that I get perplexed about is that there are like coaches and players on committees that sit and talk about these things. This is not random. This isn't like there's 2 guys sitting in a room in New York City thinking up stuff and just laying it out there. They're getting recommendations. They kick these things back to players and coaches, and they vet them out and say either yes or no, and then they become and normally it takes a little while unless there's something really egregious that's been happening. So I'm not sure how they've come up with this. We got to dive deeper into this penalty aspect of it, because again,
I think that's a good question. I don't see anything here about
there wouldn't be
the playoffs
because so then it just goes back to the next game of the regular season. So now what if does it follow the player? So what if he gets traded or signs with somebody else? So
I mean, that's not unprecedented. We've seen other sports.
Well, no, yeah. If you're suspended, you're suspended, right? By the league, yeah. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
not just in other sports, in the NFL too. We see that all the time. But I do think that it is fascinating. I would guess that it would affect the playoffs. How can it not?
Well, but then again, so what's going to happen is somebody's going to get flagged for this.
Well,
and they're going to immediately appeal it after the game. It'll still count during the game, but they'll go back. Well, you know what? It really didn't happen. This happens all the time in the NFL. You know what? That really wasn't a penalty, but we can't do anything about it after the fact. But sorry, not sorry. So that again, this sniffs of trouble for the NFL if they start talking about suspensions for accruing penalties. This happens in soccer, right? It happens when you get so many a red card or something else like that. All right. We've got audio from Chloe Chase, so we're going to get to that. No? Okay. Tracy Joyner's coming up next here on The Drive.
Don't change the channel. Your radio might explode. Okay, not really. But you miss a minute of The Drive, you might miss something, well, spectacular.
On we go.
The Drive is back on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
Send off summer with fantastic lease offers and big savings at Kendall Toyota of Eugene. Lease a new 2026 Toyota Tacoma SR5 double cab rear-wheel drive at just $280 per month for 36 months with $3,999 cash or trade equity due at signing. Get in on 0% APR on a new all-wheel drive 2026 Toyota BZ XLE. Plus, get $500 TFS subvention cash or lease it at just $385 per month for 36 months with $3,999 cash or trade equity due at signing. Get in on the end of summer savings and stop by Kendall Toyota of Eugene today. Kendall, let's start something great.
VIN number TM074169 and TA013908. TSRP of $42,002 and $41,970. $0 security deposit. See lease posting at Kendall Toyota of Eugene or call 541-225-5420 for complete lease details. All financing out of credit and all customers will qualify. Price does not include title registration or tax. Price includes $250 dealership admin fee. Subject to car sales. See dealer for details. Offer expires 8/31/26.
I've seen it. I've covered it. I'm Alex Rogers, your local farmer's agent in West Eugene. When you need auto, home, life, or business insurance, Farmers can help you protect everything you've worked so hard to achieve. I really enjoy what I do, and I can help you understand all your coverage options. When I'm your Farmers agent, you're not stuck at the mercy of some computer. I'm your advocate when you need help. Visit my office today at 1154 Garfield Street here in Eugene, or give me a call at 541-284-2804.
Almost every car made over the last 10 years has a camera. Did you know that when you replace a windshield, the camera needs recalibrated? If your glass provider doesn't fix the camera, you could have issues with safety features like forward collision alert, adaptive cruise control, or emergency braking. Don't trust some guy in a truck to fix or replace your windshield and then have to make a second appointment to calibrate your camera. You need Olson's Auto Glass, 2041 West 7th Avenue in Eugene. Olson's Auto Glass, repairing windshields since 1938.
Cancer affects all of us. Today alone, 5,370 people in the United States will be diagnosed with cancer. That's why Stand Up to Cancer funds and develops the newest and most promising cancer treatments to help patients today. Stand Up to Cancer wants to provide you with every opportunity to join in this mission. By donating your home, land, or commercial property, you can help Stand Up to Cancer fund innovative cancer research. Donating eases the stress associated with selling a home and can also help lead to the next breakthrough in cancer prevention, diagnosis, and treatment. Stand Up to Cancer makes the process easy, and it may be tax deductible. It will take all of us standing up together to put an end to cancer as we know it. Help us save lives right now. Your home or property could hold the key to the next breakthrough in cancer research. Visit standuptocancer.org/giveproperty to learn more.
Sometimes they're right.
Rest my case.
Sometimes they're wrong.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
But no ears were harmed in the making of their disagreements.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
Live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Also on sportsanimalEUG.com. over the air in Eugene on the Sports Animal and our affiliate stations in Klamath Falls, KLAD 960, 1490, 92.3, The Score in Roseburg, Fox Sports, Newport 92.7 KNCU, and our good friends Joe Brett, Demi, the whole gang. I think there's a Brandon and a Mickey and a Thomas. There's a Pete. 107. I'm making some of those names up. 107.9 1300 AM down on the Rogue Valley. So we're awaiting Tracy Joyner. We had a little snafu on time, so we're trying to get the coach. She's getting ready for the Civil War. She's 3-0-1, and the best through 4 games since 2016. That squad also went 3-0-1. That mark could be bested tomorrow when they take on Oregon State at Pape. 6 o'clock. It'll be on Big Ten Plus. It's the first regular season rivalry series meeting since 2023. We'll go over some of the records, but since we got a little time since we're waiting for Coach Baby J, let's play this audio from Oregon midfielder Chloe Chase. And by the way, just a little background on Chase. Chloe Chase got on the scoreboard for the first time in her career in Oregon's most recent game. Ellie Felt had her first brace. That means 2 goals as a Duck.
There you go.
How about that? You like that?
Yeah, I like that.
See,
you paid attention for the month of the World Cup.
I paid attention before that, but you ask me that in another month, I'm not going to remember what I said. I'm going to say braces. She's had braces? And Carly Cormac's been playing really well. She had a game-time goal at Santa Clara, marked her 4th consecutive game registering a point. And this freshman, Shiloh Bear, is pretty good. We're going to hopefully be able to talk about all of these and more with Tracy Joyner coming up here on the program, we hope. Josh Wilcox for sure, George Reister next hour. And in hour number 3, the Party Power Hour, it's Brant Freeman from Texas State as the Bobcats are entering the Pac-12 as they keep moving on up to the east side. It's actually to the west side, if you think about it geographically. So let's hear from Chloe Chase. Chloe Chase, about this rivalry series. Yes, it's the Civil War, and it's women's soccer, and how important is it?
Honestly, it's always so exciting. Like I use it as fuel and more of like playing the Beavers, like let's claim the state how we should. And I think it kind of just empowers everyone, like, okay, we should be the team that sets the tone. And I think it's really fun to come out and be able to have even just like a rivalry team 45 minutes away. So yeah, it's just really exciting.
What I find interesting is that in football, it's been much ballyhooed, obviously, that the Civil War series, unfortunately, took a hiatus. It's coming back next year, not this year, but it'll still never be the same. Civil War will never be the same because it's not going to be the last game of the season. That was always like the tradition, family upon family upon family. That Thanksgiving weekend, it would either be played on Friday or Saturday. You'd have everybody together and a lot of mixed households, meaning a lot of Ducks, a lot of Beavers in the same household. That's the way this state is. It was always fun. But I want to see that renewed. But what's cool, Baby J, about it is that all these other sports, men's and women's basketball, volleyball, baseball, baseball, big, softball, lacrosse, soccer, they still play each other every single year. And so there's still that rivalry because, again, geographically, it is the closest rival in the state. And these games are, for the most part, very competitive up and down the line.
No, absolutely. And it's, as she said earlier, Chloe, it's just as it should be. These are rivalry games and games that, we talk about for football. Obviously, there's a lack of the competitiveness, but I don't think that's the case here. And I think that for the most part, this rivalry in other sports, like hopefully they play it as much as possible. So I think it's great.
Ducks have posted, by the way, 3 shutouts in their first 4 games for just the 6th time in program history. So that happened in 1980, 2011, 2012, 2014, and last year, 2025. Oregon's .25 goals against average, 3rd in the Big Ten, 20th nationally. Ducks just came off a Bay Area trip where they tied the preseason West Coast Conference favorite, Santa Clara, 1-1. It was on my birthday, by the way, before shutting out San Francisco 3-0 on August the 23rd. Goalkeeper Gray Wilson made 4 saves to preserve the draw. And Ellie Felt scored a goal on a penalty kick in the 16th minute and a free kick in the 38th minute. So the Ducks, they're off to their best start in a decade. So again, they will take on Oregon State coming up tomorrow night, 6 p.m. at Pape Field. It'll be the first regular season rivalry series meeting since 2023.
And they're scoring goals. That's the thing that's been so elusive to this program over the course of, the last, since I've been covering it at least, is that they just haven't been able to score goals, but they have 3 goals in 3 different games at this point. And another game they got another goal and didn't end up winning, but it was still like basically, I think they've gotten a goal in every single game. So that's great.
We've had Tracy Joyner on the program before. In fact, just a few weeks ago on a Friday. Now, if people don't understand the background and you can put the pieces together, because we were just talking about the rivalry series, her husband, Justin, is the Oregon State men's basketball coach. Yes, Justin Joyner is Tracy Joyner's husband. We did ask the question about how competitive 2 A personalities, 2 coaches can get within their own household. And just like we expected, there was a non-answer answer. They said, yeah, I think, didn't she say iron sharpens iron? She pulled out a little Dan Lanning on us. Yeah. Iron sharpens iron thing.
She said it was competitive. She said it was a nice, competitive household.
She was laughing when she did it. I was just like, nah, you kick his butt all over the place, don't you? I mean, cards, Parcheesi, dominoes, cornhole, frisbee. I don't know if you can play badminton. I would imagine that you can't, Tracy is not going to try and play soccer against Justin. And I don't think Justin's going to try and take her, in a game of horse or anything like that.
How tall is Justin?
I don't think he's that big. I think he's
he doesn't seem that big.
I think he's probably like 6'3".
Which means he's 6'3" in basketball.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's 6'3".
Let's see.
Can you find
he's
it?
6 foot.
Okay, so
yeah,
that's all right. 6 foot is not bad.
Tracy listed at 5'10" at UC Santa Barbara. So I'm not sure how
Tracy's not that
those
tall.
2 inches went.
I got to meet Tracy a couple of weeks ago. She's not that tall, so I think he could take her to the
post her up,
hoop.
still, you think?
Yeah, I think he could post her up. Absolutely. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get Tracy, right?
I'm not sure. We're working on it.
We're still working on it. Okay.
I haven't heard anything.
So let's just move into the next topic then. How about that? Let's just move to South Alabama. I love this. I love, by the way, your phone calls are welcome. If you can squeeze one in, you can. Toll free 877-844-3484. That's the toll free number. If you're in the Eugene area, 541, same number, just 541-844-3484. So I mentioned this at the top because we're going to talk about this in another arena with the Akron Sips in the last hour or next hour. I think we'll talk about it. So South Alabama, the Jags, have what they call is a Dynasty Challenge, which opened up yesterday. The closing date is Halloween. So what they're doing is they're asking you to build your own South Alabama Dynasty in EA Sports. So you got to get the game, EA Sports College Football 27. Nice little tie-in there, by the way, to help with video game sales. You get 1 entry. You can win a Sun Belt championship, an additional entry for winning a national football championship. So if you win a Sun Belt championship playing the game with your dynasty team, you get 1 entry. You get an additional entry if you win the national football championship. You got to submit a photo of yourself with your championship team along with a screenshot of the game and the playoff results. There's going to be a grand prize winner, and 2 secondary winners will be randomly selected and announced on November 2nd. So tell them the prizes, Baby J.
I don't have that written in front of me.
Okay, I got it.
Get it in a second.
No, I can tell you. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you had printed it out. But so the second prizes are season football tickets for next year and a football gear pack. That's pretty cool. Season tickets.
So it's not necessarily a win the play calling of the game.
No, but here, cool. No, but that's the second prize. That's the secondary prizes. The honorary Jag is the grand prize. Get this. This is great. You get to stay at the team hotel with a guest. You ride in the game day prowl, which just sounds cool to me because of the Jags, the Jaguars. Game day prowl. I need to do a little game day prowling. Pre-game sideline pass, tunnel experience, custom South Alabama football jersey. Get out of town. Have you seen their jerseys?
I'm looking at
Their
them here.
jerseys
They're
are
pretty cool.
legit. Love their jerseys.
They're red with blue pants with a looks like white and red stripe going up and down.
They're what? Yeah.
They look a little bit like Arizona, maybe.
So when I can't really say because it'll make me sound. No, I'll just say it. I mean, they're lit. See, that sounds so bad when it comes from my mouth.
Can I speak some truth about
Yes, go
the whole
ahead.
college football 27 side of this? As someone that plays these games,
Have you played it?
I've not played 27, but these
Okay.
games are all the same. That's what you have to understand. That every single year they try to act like it's a whole new game. It's not. It's the same game every year. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. It is actually not as hard as it sounds to take literally any team and recruit well and win games. So it might not be right away, but over the course of 2 or 3 years, you can literally take any team. Like you take.
But they're asking you to build a dynasty team.
I
Is that
understand.
different?
It's no difference. I'm
Okay.
telling you, this is actually fairly easy to do if you have a decent literacy for video games and understand college football. It's something that I think that it sounds like it's really, really difficult, but it's actually not very difficult at all. I'm actually also questioning too, say you did this on 25, right? If you did this a couple of years ago on that game and you sent a screenshot, is there going to be really any way for them to know, oh, this
I don't
wasn't
know.
on 27, it's on 25?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure. So I think there's have to be a vetting process there because otherwise you could just, and first of all, you could just cheat it anyways. You could just put it into the, you could just do it. You can literally just cheat it.
So it says say on the bottom though, you can enter by playing college football 26 or 27.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so they already had that
Multiple
stipulated in there.
entries
Great.
allowed. So I just was reading the fine print down there.
So you just continue to win championships, and you get some more entries.
And by the way, this is going to be for a pretty good game. It's against Troy. Troy's got a pretty good football program. So, and I think South Alabama would as well. So the Dynasty Challenge. But this leads into, and again, we'll talk about next hour. And thanks for tuning in to The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network. We're live in Roseburg and in Medford, Newport, Klamath Falls, and of course in the Willamette Valley on the originating station, the Sports Animal. It talks to how schools that are above the top tier are trying to get one fan engagement, sell season tickets. We'll talk about the Akron Zips and their promotion that they had that they just concluded to try and get more fan engagement, which in the day and age. So when you look at this Dynasty Challenge for South Alabama, there's no money involved in this. It's just bringing attention to the school, which they hope will turn into ticket sales. Obviously, that's the whole goal in this, is to have that be a part of this.
My thing is this: you're South Alabama. How much is it going to help you with this? Because this is a national reach, right? This isn't something. That's
Well, we're
just going
talking
out to
about it.
people
I
in
mean,
South Alabama
dug it out.
So there you go. How much is us knowing about this going to help out South Alabama? I think there is a little bit of, if you're like a diehard college football fan, some guys latch onto a random team and kind of go, oh, like Appalachian State all of a sudden is my team now, and I'm going to root for them.
Slippery Rock,
right? Or they figure out exactly, like they have some
I love the
other
name.
alternate team or whatever. But other than that, like it's just hard for me to imagine that actually in the area that this is going to do a whole lot to get more ticket sales, which is ultimately what this is all about, right?
Well, I'd be interested to find out from their marketing department or any of these marketing departments what kind of bounce they get off of it, because that's what they're looking for. And by the way, it is more than amplifying my point, is saying that schools have to get creative and have to keep innovating and stay creative to keep fans engaged. Now, in Oregon's world, that really started with the uniforms. And who doesn't in this country now talk about Oregon's uniforms and uniform combinations, and who is now not copying what Oregon's tried to do? And then now Oregon's got to keep raising the bar. Every year they got to come up with something a little bit different, that they keep moving that standard further and further to keep themselves on top, and they've been successful with it. You know, the sizzle reels, the video production stuff, the hype reels that people put out. It's all a part of fan engagement. This is another way of getting some kind of fan engagement. And yeah, you're right. It's not going to move that much further away regionally, but it's good for the region. It's good for that school and trying to re-engage the fan base into the program in some way, and a younger fan base as well. Let's grab those kids when they're 15, 16 years old, think that we're cool, and then, what they might want to come to school here.
No,
and that's got to be part of it, right?
Listen, I'm with you. I think that especially for a school like South Alabama, I would say that I would actually make the argument not everybody is copying Oregon in terms of the uniforms and stuff like that.
No, I didn't say everybody was, but there are programs now.
And you have to, if you're like a South Alabama, is my point. You're not going to basically do a bunch of uniforms if you're Ohio State. People will look at you and go,
no.
Penn
State.
State. I mean?
Penn State's not changing their
Notre
uniform.
Dame. Like these schools are not going to be, they're not doing exactly that. Now,
USC.
Now, Texas is one of those schools as well with the uniforms, I would say, but they also do copy Oregon in other ways. I remember when remember when Dan Lanning, there was all those rumors about Alabama, and then he released a video that the grass is
damn green here. The grass is damn green.
Right.
We can say damn. Yeah,
the grass is damn green here in Eugene or whatever it was. And Texas came out and did the same thing. So everybody does copy Oregon. I'm with you there. And I think if you're a school like a South Alabama, that is your path to success to go, we're going to have the flashy uniforms that somebody's going to see these. And you're right. Like maybe it's somebody that is literally playing this game and says, yeah, like South Alabama, that's pretty cool. Maybe when, 10 years from now when I'm trying to make $100 million in NIL, that I'll try to go to South Alabama. They'll have that amount of money, I'm sure. So they got it through this contest. But no, I think it is overall, like there's no downside to it. I do think that it's college football. There's going to be these gimmicky sort of things.
Well, this caught your eye.
It did. I mean,
see, and that was enough. I mean, somebody in Eugene, Oregon, it caught their eye.
It just, partially too, it's just because I actually play these games, and so it is kind of funny to me. It's like it's almost acting like, oh, win a championship with South Alabama. Like, I promise you, it sounds hard, but it's not as hard as they make it sound.
So that's part of the fan engagement piece that I think is very interesting. So let's we still got to get at least one more break in. So are we going to try Tracy one more time, or do you think that's gone? We have to reschedule. All right. Well, we promised you Tracy Joyner. We'll try and deliver. But listen, Coach is getting ready for a match against Oregon State. It's the Civil War. We are not the priority. That is the priority. So we'll do our best to see if we can get Tracy on sometime today. It won't be tomorrow, but maybe we get her on Friday. Who knows? We will deliver Tracy Joyner for you. Still Josh Wilcox coming up, George Reister. We know we've got those confirmed along with Brent Freeman, so still plenty to discuss when we come back here. On the other side, the Sports Animal and the Drive.
Danny, Steve, and Justin are back.
Yeah, and we always go to breaks exactly at the second you put on here. We never run wrong or anything.
Exactly.
The Sports Animal Audio Network is on the air.
None of us ever go over because we just love that.
This is The Drive.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
It kind of sneaks up on you. You're more tired than you should be, a little less focused, a little less motivated. Maybe you've gained a little weight. It's normal. A lot of men experience it, but that doesn't mean you have to live with it. At Hale Men's Clinic, personalized testosterone therapy can help you restore your energy, your clarity, your edge. Real solutions, real results. Hale Men's Clinic. Feel good now. Curious about your levels? Walk into Hale Men's Clinic in Eugene, Bend, or Roseburg for your free testosterone test today. More info at halemensclinic.com.
Hi, this is Drew from Dalton Carpet on West 11th in Eugene. Dalton Carpet is family owned and operated and proud to serve you for 30 years. Now more than ever, someone you know is walking on a Dalton floor. Do you have a flooring project? Get your summer off to a new start. Lane County's best selection with hundreds of rolls of carpet and thousands of feet of click-together flooring on display and in stock right now at unbeatable prices. Come see us today at Dalton Carpet, right here on West 11th in Eugene.
TCB number 195698. JT Bailey here, owner-operator of All County Garage Door, Eugene Springfield's independent and locally owned garage door experts. Looking to upgrade your home's curb appeal, thermal efficiency, safety, and security? A new garage door checks all those boxes, and All County Garage Door is here to help. For new doors, new operators, and any and all garage door operator repair, we have you covered. And with a 15-year reputation of top-quality work and top-notch customer service, you can count on us. Give us a call at 541-521-8986 or visit us at allcountygaragedoor.com.
All bets are on at the Three Rivers Casino Resort Sportsbook in Florence. Bet 24/7 at our kiosks or download the brand new Sportsbook app today and get $10 in free bets. Place wagers right from your mobile device while you relax in your room, hit the casino floor, or grab a bite. Then catch the action on Oregon's largest sports betting screen. Visit threeriverscasino.com/sportsbook to learn more. The Sportsbook at Three Rivers Casino Resort. Winning starts here.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107.
Consolidated Credit Solutions Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Kansas CSO 0019051. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 892. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission. License number TC83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debts may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action. Actual interest rates, length of program, and monthly payment reductions will vary by consumer and creditor. Yours could be higher or lower. Not a loan company. We do not lend money.
Our version of the Knucklehead Society have a place to talk sports and life with you. Broadcasting from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios, you're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
At the top of the hour, we'll have Josh Wilcox, former Duck, former NFL player, and now the current and the new head coach for the Harrisburg Eagles. USAA football starts this weekend. By the way, speaking of football, you know, the whole Brendan Sorsby fiasco down in Lubbock at Texas Tech. By the way, thanks for tuning into The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network. Oregon Man Clinic's hotline in the Eugene area, 541-844-3484. Toll free, 877-844-3484. Live from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. Texas Tech lost Brendan Sorsby. Sorry. And I think they found a new quarterback, Justin. Tommy Cassianos.
Yeah.
Former Florida State, Boston College, and UCF quarterback. 6,000, almost 500 yards, 48 touchdowns. He's rushed for 24 touchdowns. He went to a judge in Kentucky. I don't know how that worked out for Brendan Sorsby. And he's going to allow, he was granted a temporary restraining order. It's going to allow him to play a fifth college football season. And he's going to go to Texas Tech. 5'9", 198 pounds. He went undrafted. So he went into the draft, did not get drafted, but he didn't get signed as an undrafted free agent. So I guess the whole going to the NFL, signing with somebody would not apply to him. What we were discovering the other day. So he had previously sought an NCAA waiver to be granted a fifth year of eligibility, citing that his 2022 season at UCF, in which he just played 5 games, one coming in the conference title game, so it wasn't a regular season game, would allow him to claim the red shirt because he played 4 regular season games. But then he dropped that appeal. He's 22, by the way. He dropped that appeal so he could enter the draft, and then he didn't get drafted.
Actually, he just turned 23 today.
Okay. Well,
happy birthday,
happy
Thomas
birthday.
Castellanos.
And now the Red Raiders lost their starting quarterback, Brendan Sorsby, to that whole thing, right? And then they were looking for a backup for Will Hammond, who's coming back from a torn ACL that he suffered in October. So he was expected to be ready to start against Abilene Christian on September 5th. And after recovering from his knee injury, the Red Raiders needed to find somebody to back it up. So here we go. So apparently they found him. Again, this is all court pending and appeals. I don't know is the NCAA going to appeal it or not. Okay. NCAA might appeal it. Who knows? All right, let's head on over real quick. Over to the Oregon Man Clicks hotline. let's head at 541-844-3484 here on the drive, statewide in Klamath Falls, Roseburg, Newport, Medford, and here in Eugene. It's the head coach of your Oregon women's soccer program, off to its best start in 10 years, and a returner to the program. It's Tracy Joyner. Coach, how the girls looking?
They look great. It was a really successful weekend, and in the Bay Area, a lot of great individual performances, but even better team performances. So we're looking forward to tomorrow night.
Absolutely. And your young women are off to their best record through 4 games since the 2016 squad. So what's the difference been, or what's the change been from year 1, year 2, or in the past? It seems like offensively you guys are stronger, and obviously on the back end defensively you've been playing outstanding soccer.
Yeah, I think just the main change, and I can only speak to this past season, is just like personnel and time together, right? Like it takes time to build. It takes time to create something really special, and we're in year 2 of putting together a really amazing roster with a lot of talent. And I think the biggest difference is we just have a lot of depth this year. We're also very healthy, and that hurt us last year. No pun intended, right? So yeah. I think we're in a great spot, and we've got just good vibes all around. I think the team's really connecting and embracing, almost an entirely new squad.
So you have 3 games with shutouts, and you've scored a goal in every single game so far. Which excites you more?
As a defender, definitely shutouts. We love seeing zeros on the scoreline for the opposition. So that's, I'm very happy about that, because it's not just the back line. I think when you defend very well as a group, it's a testament to your mentality as a team. It's very hard to get shutouts because you're playing such talented players. And just the commitment to, defending together as a unit, it takes a lot. It takes a lot from a mentality standpoint. So really proud of them. And then, up top, when we score nice goals, it's like you let special players do special things, and we've been able to capitalize on some really key moments.
Tracy Ham 10 is the socials for Tracy Joyner, who joins us, the head women's soccer coach at the University of Oregon, who get ready for a rivalry matchup, the Civil War on the pitch, as Pape Field will host the Oregon State Beavers for the first regular season rivalry series meeting since 2023. Coach, what does this mean for you? And especially, does it take a different meaning in your household with your husband this week?
I love rivalry games. I think that's what sports are all about, is those big rivalry games. And, I think we're prepared. We're going into it, with the right mentality. We know it's going to be a battle. We're expecting a big turnout from fans, a lot of them in orange, a lot of them hopefully more in green. So we're excited to be in that environment and play in front of a big crowd. I think Justin better keep his orange in the closet, where it belongs. But he's ready. He'll be there, and I'm sure he'll support me as best he can without ruining his alliance to the Beavers. So we're excited, and it definitely means a lot to me, because I don't want to spend the next year having to explain away an unfavorable outcome. So
well, we'll be pulling
forward to it.
We'll be pulling for you as well, Coach. We talked about Carly Cormack and Shiloh Baird last time we had you on our program. I want to focus a little bit more on Ellie Felt, and we also heard from Chloe Chase a little bit. We had a soundbite from her a little while ago. Ellie Felt gets her first brace. Talk about how her game has improved and what she brings to your squad.
Yeah, Ellie, we love that she's, a local to Oregon. She's such just a fierce player. She's very, very talented. She's very good off the dribble, great in combination play. And she's just got a finesse to her game that I think has added just a huge level of impact to our attacking group. And she's getting her first goals, I think, was huge just for her confidence. And they were both, one's a penalty, one's on a free kick, and really, really nice goals. It's hard to execute in those moments. So I think for her, like I said, just confidence is really important. But yeah, we're really happy for her. She's definitely starting to grow into what she's capable of.
All right, we got about a minute left, but I do want to ask about Chloe Chase because she got on the scoreboard for the first time in her career, and I know the excitement was brimming. How is that for you, a coach, to see a young player like that, a young woman, get that first goal, and how excited she was for that?
I mean, Chloe is the ultimate duck. Her license plate says duck soccer. Like, that's how committed she is to being a duck and playing for this squad. So, as a captain as well, I know she carries a lot of weight in terms of the expectation she has for herself and for her teammates. So this was huge for her. I know when she scored, there was kind of a sigh of relief more than joy. But I hope that, moving forward, this just continues to motivate her and inspire her to be risky in the box and, to challenge herself, because I know she wants it more than anybody else.
All right, Coach. Well, pulling for you, and good luck against Oregon State. And I know to try and keep peace in the household, the outcome needs it. I don't know if 0-0 would work for Justin. I know it won't work for you. So best of luck tomorrow night.
Thank you so much. Have a great one, guys.
Yeah, thank you. It's Tracy Joyner. Have her back anytime.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when we come back, we'll take a quick break for our affiliates. And when we turn around the corner, lo and behold, Josh Wilcox will appear at Real Josh Wilcox. Hang on to your hats. Get some popcorn popping. We'll be back with the Harrisburg head football coach next here on The Drive.
Live on stations throughout Oregon. We're sorry, we couldn't stop them.
This isn't a negotiation.
Broadcasting from the Emerald City, Eugene. Let's get back to The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
The plans you have for your property need the right equipment. Kubota has reliable tractors, utility vehicles, and mowers to help you make the most of your land, along with strong dealer support. Stop by today to explore our lineup. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0% financing or save up to $3,500, plus a first-year K-maintenance service on us. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer.
Mid-Valley Tractor in Eugene. 40 years, family-owned. Find them at MidValleyTractor.com.
Hi, Brad and my son AJ here with a word of encouragement from Cottage Road Chevy. In these uncertain economic times, know that Cottage Road Chevy is here for you today
and tomorrow. Your need for a vehicle isn't going away. We aren't either.
We're proud to serve our customers for over 35 years, and we truly consider it a privilege.
Your support is greatly appreciated.
Cottage Road Chevy is proud to be part of our community, and we're here for you. Thank you.
Millions of Americans are glued to their TV weekly, watching a sport they love. Come and relive your childhood at A&J Sports Cards. They have a wide variety of sports cards and memorabilia. Eugene's home for collecting is A&J Sports Cards. Whether you're looking for the stars from the past or the present, you'll find them at A&J Sports Cards. They are here to meet your hobby needs. That's A&J Sports Cards, 1478 West 6th Avenue, 541-343-5561.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence.
At Mercedes-Benz of Eugene, we do things a little bit differently. We're one of the last independently owned automotive dealerships with a young and energetic sales staff, no pressure sales tactics, and you don't have to travel outside of Linn County to get the best deal possible. We have more than 200 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock now, and we invite you to come see for yourself at Mercedes-Benz of Eugene.
I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew. So here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
KORE Springfield, Eugene, 1050 AM. Translated on 275CX 1029 FM. This is the Sports Animal, Eugene.
Blasting statewide on the Sports Animal Audio Network. This is The Drive. Welcome to hour number 2, friends. The Score in Roseburg, Fox Sports Newport, Ace Sports Radio, AM 960. Coming up in hour number 3, the Party Power Hour. We'll start out the hour with Brant Freeman from Texas State. Our first dive into some of the new opponents. Well, actually, second dive. We had Boise State's Bob Beeler on just the other day. Brant Freeman is the new voice, old voice. He was on the TV side. He's going to do the radio side this season for Texas State and the Bobcats, one of the new entries in the Pac-12. Joshua David Wilcox. Josh Wilcox coming up in just a few moments, we hope. Graduated from Junction City High School, same school my dear wife graduated from, but she was not in the same class. She was about 2 years ahead of Josh. So they went to school at the same time together.
Which nowadays is...
And I am going to bring her up in this next interview. I am. Because she would have been a junior when he was a freshman.
Which now it's just like you're the same age, which is the
Isn't that
crazy thing
weird?
about getting older. Yeah. I have a friend that she's 3 years younger than me. And I always think about her as much younger than me. And she told me her age the other day. She's 28 and I'm 31. I'm like, oh, we're the same age now. This is so weird.
So Josh Wilcox played college football, obviously, for the U of O, redshirted in the 92 season, was a 4-year letterman from 93 to 96, a 3-year starter from 94 to 96. Of course, remember that 95 season or 94-95 season. 95 Rose Bowl, 11 catches, 135 yards, and a touchdown in that Rose Bowl. At that time, tying Oregon's single-game reception record. So, well, hopefully we'll get Josh on in a moment, whenever you want to keep trying him, or if you texted him already. He's probably coming out of practice. They got Jamboree coming up, so Harrisburg's not playing this weekend. So this weekend, by the way, on all of the affiliates that you're listening to right now, we are going to have at 9:30 on Friday night on AM 960 Sports, on the Score, on Fox Sports Newport, and in Medford on the Ace Sports Radio, and of course here at the originating station. We're going to have a statewide scoreboard show. We're going to call it the Final Drive. We're going to have scores from throughout the state. Baby J is still Baby J. Thanks, Coach Mark. By the way, you can go ahead and hop on the stream, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We're there as well. Wave to the kids. We're going to have a scoreboard show. Yeah. So a lot of jamborees this weekend in the OSAA. So like I'm going to do the math before the show because I'm hosting the show this week. There's probably my only appearance on this show will be this week. Is I think about half the teams are playing in jamborees, or actually probably more than half the teams are playing in jamborees, and the others are actually playing quote unquote 0-week games, truly 0-week games in the OSAA because not everybody's on a schedule. So they're basically considered 0-week games. So, but there are plenty, and there's a big one. It's right here in Eugene area as number 1 Lake Oswego will be taking on Willamette, a matchup of 2 top 6 teams in the 6A. So that's going to be a wild one.
It's kind of a heck of a way to start, right? You got a number 1 team in the state. You have a team that is the defending champion from last season. You got Willamette, who had a very good season last year, but maybe one that they'd like to get a little bit more out of the apple than they would have bitten off, I'd say. So for them, man, what a statement it could be if they could beat Lake Oswego, right?
Oh, it would be huge, to start out the season. So they'll be Harrisburg will be at Elmira. We'll hopefully be able to talk to Josh Wilcox about that, the Eagles head coach. He brings a couple of guys with him. And as I look at his resume, I believe this is the first time that he is a head coach for high school football. And I think he got his, and we'll talk to him hopefully here in a second, and we'll ask him about, because we talked about he was offensive coordinator last year for Junction City. And that he had such a great time with that. He was just like, this job's coming open. I think I'm going to try it. Let's head on over to the Oregon Man Clinic hotline and welcome in for the second time on this program. The Oregon Man Clinic hotline is at 541-844-3484. Toll free 877-844-3484. Statewide in Klamath Falls, Roseburg, Newport, and Medford. This is the Sports Animal and the Drive. Coach Wilcox, welcome back to the program, friend. How's the summer and the workouts been heading up to this jamboree coming up on Friday?
Well, they've been good. I'm up here trying to figure out how to use huddle cameras, so that's why I was a little bit late.
Oh, that's fine.
My technology skills aren't the best, but yeah, it's certainly been an interesting ride. The guys are out there. It's been fun. They've really reacted to all the workouts we had this summer, and my first time as a head coach of double days. It's been a great experience for everybody. My assistant coach has been awesome, and the kids have reacted pretty well. So, I mean, everything's going great, right? Until we play somebody.
Sure.
Or everything goes really good when we're playing against air. But, yeah, I couldn't be more excited for what's coming up on Friday.
So you were an OC for Junction City's program last year. You guys had a really nice season under Ty Rochert. Yeah. And, he asked you to come in, then you kind of got the bug again. So what have you learned about now being the guy in the chair instead of being a guy adjacent to the chair?
Yeah. Well, first off, you don't coach as much as a head coach. It's more administrative, dealing with a lot of things. No, I think, certainly there are things that I was aware of that, when you're kind of an assistant, you can just really kind of go and coach. And, the responsibility of the entire program is on the head coach. So there's a lot more, what things I get pulled into. But I don't know that necessarily anything surprised me. It's just, this is kind of my first time doing it. So I'm drinking from the fire hose pretty fast in some sense. And I think maybe for mine a little bit more is that, I hadn't been around, football or, high school kids or all those type of things till last year. So I'm still figuring out, what time, when school starts or how parents register kids or getting physicals in. So a lot of that stuff I'm still brand new to, haven't been involved because I don't have kids. So it's kind of like eye-opening, but, I think what I've learned and had always kind of known is just as long as I hire good assistants and people and delegate, not try to do everything. I think that's the biggest key to a lot of people having success is the head coach can't take it all on. So you have to get people you can trust to do those things and have some really good assistants. The administration here has been great. The school has been great. So it's made it easy in that sense. Now, someone like myself that, wants to do everything right the first time, not always as easy. And probably my wife is probably getting the brunt of a lot of that. But, I think that, just understanding too, as well, is that it's not just the football part in a small community. It's, that's one piece of it, what we do on the field, but there's also the kids in the classroom, being visible, how they act, how they grow, and then just the community involvement, especially in a small town like Harrisburg. So, understanding and just, seeing that in real life versus just kind of imagining it is probably one of the bigger things that has been an adjustment.
A 3-year starter for the Ducks from 94 to 96. He was one of the key cogs in the 95 Rose Bowl, making 11 catches for 135 yards and a touchdown. He is the head coach of the Harrisburg Eagles, getting ready for 3A football, a jamboree at Elmira to take on Taft, Harrisburg, and Elmira in that jamboree. Unfortunately, we heard the news yesterday that South Eugene is going to step aside from their football program, and that's just sad. But, Coach, you were on the program before. You said after being around those kids last year at Junction City, you got the bug again, and you got really excited about football. So these kids in Harrisburg, I mean, it's a school that has a lot of really traditional great athletes. What's been the investment that you've seen the community puts into it? Because any of these small communities, they're ingrained into their high school and invested in their kids.
Yeah, I mean, if you really look at just from when we kind of started, and it's funny because if you really look at like OSA rules, when you go from 4A to 3A, there's a big difference in how you can work with coaches can work with kids. And so essentially, right after Memorial Day is when I could start working with the kids, and just the involvement by the Booster Club, people around there. The parent group has been awesome. We had a fundraiser this summer to raise money, and that was to work at the Drifter stadiums and help clean up after Drifters games. And the buy-in from the parents and the kids was just amazing. And I had a lot of compliments from people at those games and administration and owners for the Drifters on how well the kids acted, how the parents were involved. So it's those type of things, and people around the community are excited. And at the parade this year, we had a big float as a team, and we were out throwing out mini footballs to the kids.
Nice.
So it's all those little small town kind of values, and more people coming around saying they're excited. Now I'm not strolling up and down the mean streets of Harrisburg all the time, but certainly a lot more people. Asking where they can get this new hat or where they can get a shirt or when the game is, and that's fun. I mean, that's the exciting part for the small town community thing. But the kids and the parents, that's the first place they have to buy in. The community part is one, but if the kids and parents aren't buying in, and we've had full buy-in, and the Booster Club's been amazing to work with. They're excited. How can we help? What can we do together?
Right.
What are the things that we can do to make sure that we get the things done that not only help this season, but to build a program, because that's what part of this is. I mean, it's a one season this year, but it's to build this thing for long-term success and to keep this thing going. And I'm very blessed and lucky to have this opportunity, especially with the people around here. Of course, me growing up in the area and understanding and really enjoying the small town value part of it.
Yeah.
But it's been everything that, I've thought and it would be, it has been. So now it's kind of on me to make sure we do good on Friday nights.
I think it's interesting hearing you talk about, the fact that you don't have any kids, and obviously you had experience last year as an offensive coordinator, but this is your first head coaching experience. So I'm just curious about the way that you connect with these kids in terms of, you remember yourself as a high schooler growing up and what you had to do to be successful. Do you almost look for qualities that you had yourself when you're coaching these kids?
Yeah, well, certainly, you're always looking at those things. You're always trying to figure out in that aspect. Yeah. Okay, which guy really loves football, or which guys are showing up to weights, and, but I also, from, understanding is that not everybody's the same, and not everybody's situation is the same. And, not everybody, maybe wants to go to the next level, or not everybody has the time to commit to all those things. So each situation is different. So I think the one thing that I figured out is how do you connect each kid and kind of figure out what pushes them. And then as a team, if we're all buying into the same big goals and having the same kind of thought process. But I also try to let these guys know that, I've been through it. I understand, I also make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. I've had a lot of good coaches. I've had some bad ones. And so I've taken a lot of that. And I'm not afraid to lean on my network of coaching friends to ask questions. I'm never afraid to say, hey, does this work? This is what we're dealing with. But in a different way, maybe like an older brother or crazy cousin in type of that,
Okay.
Now I said I had no kids. Now I have like 32 of them right? Instantly. Yeah. So it's really, and they're all teenagers, which is even better, right?
Yeah.
So,
oh, sure. Yeah, sure it is.
Yeah.
Jumping right in the deep end.
Yeah, nothing like adopting 32 teenagers. That's a really good idea. But I just try to, I don't necessarily think. I think kids nowadays, they can read through BS a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
And I think that from a football standpoint, from maybe when I was growing up, they're a lot smarter in terms of the information out there. I like to use this example. When I went to Oregon from Junction City, I was pretty embarrassed at what I didn't know. And that's, small town type thing. And it was different. But now, everybody knows what a cover 2 is or cover 3 and what quarters are. How come we're not running this flood route? Or, he's got a hot route off this. And, you know, so sometimes that can be a detriment, but the football knowledge part is certainly, you know, way beyond what it was kind of when I was coming up. But it's also in any of the knowledge and information, it's like how you use it, when you use it, and where you use it. So, you know, it's the same thing with people in the stands or whoever else. Like, we should have done this. Well, yeah, that's great, but it's got to be in the right situation. So, but I think, you know, it's been fun because I do think in a way that the kids understand that, you know, we're just here to win football games. You know, that's not the end goal, but that's why you're out here. We're not here to lose or you know, play to a tie. And we're going to do the best things we can as a football team to put everybody in the success. And I've had buy-in from a lot of kids. You know, they played 9-man last year, so the rules a little bit different. Guys' jersey numbers, right? They're different now.
Yeah.
They're playing in different positions. Well, I played this tight end last year. Well, no, you're going to play line. But we've had a lot of guys buy into this is where you're going to fit to be a piece of the puzzle.
Awesome.
And we've talked about it. There's only one football to go around. And as much as you might want to catch 50 passes, actually, I was at a Oregon practice this spring, and Dan kind of mentioned his team is, you know, hey, your receiver, your goal is to catch 12 passes. Well, they don't throw to you 12 times. You can't catch 12 passes. But what you can do is making sure you're doing your job correctly and being ready to make that play. And so I think that really resonated with me because it's like, hey, guys, we're going to do everything we can, but you got to do everything right on every play to make sure you're ready to make that play. And the kids have been buying into that, and that's the fun part. And seeing the light bulb go on, that's the other. I really enjoy that. Like,
that's cool.
Like, I understand why. Or the route spacing. Hey, you got to get a little wider. Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
That's the fun part for me.
Cool.
Is there any, you talked about you've had some bad coaches. Is there any specific coaching method that you saw as you were coming up that you're like, all right, I'm never doing that? Or has there been anything that you felt like has changed since that time that you feel like, okay, yeah, like this particular thing is much better now?
Yeah. I mean, as much as I love Coach Brooks, I don't think 3-a-days is our, you know, 2-a-day doubles and screaming. And I had Mike Ditka, so I'm not sure that really goes over well either.
New Orleans,
but,
yeah.
Yeah. So I do think that, you know, just how you approach kids and how you teach them. Now, I'm not going to say that once in a while I'll get fired up, but we've had practices that probably haven't been the best. And rather than kind of throwing stuff and going Mike Ditka on them, it's sometimes better to pull them in and just explain like, hey guys, that's not good enough. And if you want to set the standard, that's not good enough. Now go home and think about it. And here's what we can change. And, you know, I know for myself, I've told them up front, hey, you know, I have to get better as a head coach.
Sure.
So we'll change things around. What can we do different? So every time it's always trying to adjust. What can we do different? How can we get better? Rather than always putting it on the player. That's the one thing I know that I've seen from a lot of coaches, because some coaches like, oh, they're just not paying attention, or he's just not getting it. Well, that's your job as a coach, to figure out ways to connect to those guys, to get them to pay attention. Now, at some point, you can try everything. It's not going to work, right? But you can't just sit here and say, oh, that guy's a lost cause. Like, there's two pieces of the puzzle. So you got to be the best piece of the best part you can be to make sure it's a success. So, and relating with the kids, you know, the whole screaming and yelling thing doesn't work anymore. And that's kind of, I grew up on that, but I had other coaches that were really like, hey, check this out, or this is why. And I've taken a lot of that, and I do have a kind of a good resource in my back pocket to call once in a while that's done it for 20 some years. So
I think I know that guy.
Yeah. Every once in a while I might shoot him a text message.
And does he answer, or has he got you blocked already?
No, usually not. It's maybe a couple days later. Oh, hey, what'd you need? And I've forgotten by then. So, no, he's been awesome. I've had a lot of friends, and Justin's been out here. Don Pelham came out for a day during the summer.
That's cool.
I had a buddy of mine that played New Orleans with me come out for 3 days in the summer to just work with D-line. I've had a lot of people come out and just not only help myself, but help my coaches and some of the kids. And, you know, we actually almost do our own mini clinics in our little locker room here for coaches. And I think that's the fun part for me is I know, you know, I never thought I'd be doing this, but, you know, getting people understanding more about football, being part of a team and growing this program, these are all the fun things for me.
Playing in the 3A Pac-West Conference, it's the head coach of the Harrisburg Eagles, Josh Wilcox, joining us on the drive statewide on the Sports Animal Audio Network. Jamboree this weekend, Coach. Couple of more quick questions for you. You're at Elmira. So what do you want to get out of a Jamboree? You know, you're not playing a full game, but you are going at it against a couple of different opponents. So what's your goal, the end goal? What do you want to see on Friday?
Well, I want to score 72 points, give up 0. I'm going to show every formation and play I have. I want to get thrown out of the game. No, I
get a lot of goals.
I want to see how. Yeah, you know, I shoot for the really good ones. I think I want to see how kids react. I mean, I've never been around these kids. You know, again, 9 man's different than 11. So I want to see how they react against other teams. I want to see how the line plays. It not so much. I want to see how, when they're in the fire and when it goes live, what do they do? Because you know, with a limited amount of players, you can't do a whole lot of live stuff. And this opportunity to go out there and see these guys, how they react to when it goes good, and more importantly, how they react when things don't go as good, because that's really what's going to define us. I mean, it's easy to have success when everything goes good, but to have success when things don't go good, like that's what makes winners. And so you drop a pass or you miss a block, like how do you react? How do you adjust? And that's not only the players, it's myself as a head coach and my assistant coaches. So, you know, and hopefully we get some guys to make some plays, but just see how they react and go out and let them loose. Because at some point in practice, you're always kind of here, staying here, or watching the whistle, or making sure, hey, can this guy go against this guy? When you have a small school, you got to make sure you're not putting a 110-pound freshman in a scout team look against a 190-pound senior.
Right.
So now you kind of match them up, and I want to see them compete. You know, we did a lot of 7-on-7 stuff, which is great, and there's competition. But as I've joked to them, this is real football. We're in full pads. So now let's see how we react and how we play.
All right. Well, Coach, I know you're going to be going at it on Friday night and the rest of the season that starts for real against North Valley on the 4th. And the Elmira Jamboree is on Friday night. And one more quick thing. You went to school with my wife, by the way.
I did?
Yes.
Well, I mean, my 7th year as a senior, or
you were a freshman and she was a junior. Her maiden name is Deborah Cook. Craig Cook was her older brother, and Deborah is my wife.
Oh man, going way back in the time machine there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I barely remember 2 weeks ago. So I thought yesterday was Wednesday, so I'm all kind of screwed up. But I mean, well then there you go. I mean, they put really good people out of Junction then. This is proof, right?
Absolutely, they did. Absolutely, Coach. Best of luck. We look forward to having you back. And I know it's sad for you that Mims isn't here, but he's out playing golf with his wife at Oakway right now. He's required to do that on Wednesdays, and he wanted to pass along hello as well. So we'll be watching, and we'll have you back. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we just got to be sure what's in that beverage cooler he has. That's the most important thing, right?
A Pinot Noir, I'm sure there is right now.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They're not seltzers, right? Exactly.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Coach, have fun. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
There he goes. Great, Josh Wilcox. Thought maybe he was going to break some news. Yeah, I remember dating your wife. Which didn't happen. No,
I don't think so. No.
So when we come back-to-back guests. The great George Reister, the minister, is going to join us. By the way, you can follow Josh Wilcox. He's a great follow on Twitter, by the way, at Real Josh Wilcox. George Reister up next on The Drive. It's the Sports Animal Audio Network here for Wednesday. It's Hump Day. Hello.
Don't change the channel. Your radio might explode. Okay, not really. But you miss a minute of The Drive, you might miss something, well, spectacular. On we go. The Drive is back on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
At Mercedes-Benz of Eugene, we do things a little bit differently. We're one of the last independently owned automotive dealerships with a young and energetic sales staff, no pressure sales tactics, and you don't have to travel outside of Linn County to get the best deal possible. We have more than 200 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock now, and we invite you to come see for yourself at Mercedes-Benz of Eugene.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Jansen Beach, Clackamas, Beaverton, Salem, and Eugene, Video Only.
Summer, the sun, the sand. How could things be any better? Actually, you know what sounds kind of good? Chicken bones. Yeah, that would make things better. All you could eat wings for $27.95 and dollar beers from Cold Fire Cold Store. That would really make things better. Ooh, and the sauces. The sauces are to die for. In fact, now I'm kind of hungry. Oh, man. Now I need to go to Chicken Bones.
Make no bones about it. Chicken Bones has the best wings in Lane County. All you can eat wings, great sauces, and awesome burgers. Open daily at 11 a.m. on Pioneer Parkway in the Safeway Center. Check us out on Facebook or call 541-726-0111. That's 541-726-0111. Chicken Bones, chicken with an attitude.
As America celebrates 250 years of independence, it's a powerful reminder that our nation was built on service, community, and shared responsibility. For generations, the benevolent and protective Order of Elks has carried those American community values forward while investing in our youth, veterans, and neighbors in need. This is Travis Demers, voice of the Portland Trailblazers. Join the Elks in honoring America's past. Oregon Elks, stronger together.
Sometimes they're right.
I rest my case.
Sometimes they're wrong.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
But no ears were harmed in the making of their disagreements.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
We've already heard from Oregon women's soccer coach Tracy Joyner. We just had Josh Wilcox at Real Josh Wilcox getting ready for his first head coaching high school experience at Harrisburg as they get ready for a jamboree. And then North Valley in the first week of the regular season for the 3A Eagles, moving up back to 11-man football just outside the Eugene area. Welcome back into The Drive, friends, on the Sports Animal Audio Network statewide. We're in Roseburg, Newport, Medford, Klamath Falls, adding more cities on in the coming weeks. High school football is here. We're 10 days away from the kickoff of the Oregon and Oregon State seasons. And let's head on back over to the Oregon Man Clinics hotline, live from the Bigfoot Beverages studios, toll-free 877-844-3484. And in Eugene, 541-844-3484. Welcome back in, our good friend. You can follow him at George Reister. He's the host of the Unafraid Show on CW, on 3 Sports, Talking Ducks. And he joins us every single week during the football season. It's the minister, George Reister. George, how are tricks?
Man, everything is good, man. And we're going to have another announcement next week, too.
Excellent. Wait a second. Are you cloning yourself?
No.
Man, how do you? There's 24 hours. There's a 24-hour clock in a day, George. How are you doing all this?
I am on a tightrope, man. I'm on a tightrope.
Well,
but see, the thing is, I'm trying to get to the point where, I'm to the point now where I can say no to a decent amount of things, but now I can't say no to the big things yet. And I want to get to the point where I can say no to big things and big checks and be like, nah, it's not worth it.
That's right. Well, that means we're so blessed to have you. You think of us, you care about us, and you can help us out here, giving your knowledge, spreading your love to our listening audience, and we do appreciate it. So let's dive into it with both being 10 days away, as I said, from kickoff. We've talked to other players, ex-players before about this point of the season in fall camp where it's like, all right, I'm tired of hitting the guy across from me. I want to go hit a different jersey, a different player, because all that guy knows all my tricks now. So I want to go do something on somebody else. So does it start to get, as a player, does it start to get a little chippy at this point? Because it's like, all right, man, I want to do something else. Or is it like, this is where a team really starts to meld together?
I think it depends on your team, right? Because things typically get chippy when somebody is being more physical than the other person, and they're like, yo, hold on, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But when you are executing at the level of physicality that this Oregon team is, you don't get a lot of the chippiness, only because everybody knows what the expectation is. And then you look at, like, from everything that I've heard, that these guys are terrified to miss practice. They're like, I'm not missing practice because I'm not letting that Thundercat behind me get any reps.
Right.
Because if I let him get reps, I don't even know what he's going to do. He might turn out to be the next greatest thing all the time, and I'll never get back on the field. So I'm never letting him on the field.
I want to get up to the NFL players going back to college thing. And the Big Ten at this point has banned players coming back from the pros. The Monster Energy Big 12 has done the same. The SEC has done the same. I don't think it's an accident, by the way, that Petiti got a 5-year extension today after the SEC and the Big 12 followed suit. Do you think that the Big Ten looks good because of the way they handled this? Obviously, all the schools and or all the conferences at this point seem to be kind of reaching that conclusion that they have to do something themselves, but it wasn't that way at first. Do you think the Big Ten looks good?
Oh, I definitely do. I think that they look like that they are leading, that they're not following everybody else, that they are actually on the forefront of making decisions, because a lot of times people don't even need you to make, to like be on the forefront of everything. They just need you to be decisive. I either allow it or don't. Don't let this thing, drag out, even though I am 100% in favor of letting the dudes play.
George Reister, you can follow him at George Reister on all the socials. He joins us here on The Drive. It's the Sports Animal Audio Network statewide, originating from beautiful Eugene, Oregon. And we've got George on every single week during the football season. So, George, with this ruling, and there's more, there's more coming, it seems like players are going into these pockets and going into courts. And does this now lend back to the conversation that we've had plenty of times? And maybe this is the year that it finally gets to a tipping point where we have a commissioner of college football that can help adjudicate some of these things and keep the NCAA out of the morass that they end up being with the court system?
Oh man, so to go back to the reason why I love the players playing, it is only and solely because I believe that they got screwed over by the NCAA.
Yeah.
Like the guys, well, the guys and girls, because it's volleyball players
Right.
impacted,
Yeah.
soccer, baseball, all of that, who played 4 for 4. And they should have put this rule in January, and then everything would have been fine. Or they could have put it in next January, and then it would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, they just can't. They find a way to trip over themselves every single year. So I'm not mad about it, because the conferences have shown, and if you go back, it actually started with the Brendan Sorsby case.
Right.
It started with them saying, you know what, we're not going to allow you to play, and if you do play him, you're going to forfeit money, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, all the stuff that's within the conference bylaws. So now we're seeing this. So the Sun Belt, Big 10, Big 12, all the conferences are basically in on this, except the Mountain West. We have not heard from them yet. And truthfully, if I was all the rest of the conferences, I need somebody to allow it. That way we don't end up in court like accused of collusion. So, like, I would need somebody to take them. But it's just this is the point that we needed to get to, so it breaks. And you pointed out that the NCAA has just been tripping over itself, and will they go away? I think that the conference is showing that they actually have power versus the NCAA, which can't enforce anything.
Correct.
That is the tipping point, and how I think that we end up with the commissioner and we end up with collective bargaining.
Well, and it's interesting too, George, because we've just seen some of these conferences start to just find a way to, figure things out on their own. But what is the next step? We thought maybe it was going to be the Brendan Sorsby thing. We thought, maybe we're going to see NFL guys going back to college, which, by the way, maybe we should have seen coming because it has already happened in the NBA. But is there anything that you can see as the next step? Like, what's the next sort of tipping point that we're reaching here?
It is continued litigation surrounding NIL and the transfer portal. You're going to see more issues with the 5-for-5 as it relates to waivers, though. Now, granted, that's a much smaller number and percentage of players, but you're going to keep running into this, and a lot of it is going to have to do with the salary cap, because you have people like Lane Kiffin who were egging people on to sue the NCAA because he wants all of these NFL players, and I'm gonna tell you right now, he's not done trying to get them, which is absolutely asinine. They play in 10 days, and you're trying to get new players, and I'm like, give them all to him, give him all of them. Give him an exception. Let him take all of those players, because all you're going to do is screw your team up.
So is Lane Kiffin like an anomaly to you? Is he like an enigma? Because, I can't get it. What always comes back to my mind with Lane Kiffin is that he's like that kid who has learned a lesson that even negative attention's attention, so I want attention, so I'm just going to do whatever I want. Am I wrong?
Yes, but I think that the underlying issue is wrong.
Okay.
He wants the attention, but a lot of it has to do, all of it is self-serving, and he's selfish. He doesn't care about these kids. He doesn't care about anybody. He cares about what Lane Kiffin wants. He didn't care about his team at Ole Miss. He don't care about the transfers. He don't care about the kids that he's either going to have to remove from the team to get these players, or a spot that should be theirs and all that. He does not care. He's a low integrity individual, and it's tough because I do not believe that. Well, first of all, I would never send my son to go play for him. First of all,
yeah.
But the second thing is that at some point in time, you have to look yourself in the mirror and go to sleep and say, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it. You have to look at yourself and be like, man, do I really feel good about this? And I believe that he looks in the mirror. He's like, cool. I'm cool with this. Because he doesn't have a. I don't know if he has that internal conscience or his faith in a higher power that's like, I probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, absolutely, Jordan. All right, one last question for you, because I know you're going to be knee deep in the coverage for the CW and the Pac-12. So what are you looking forward most? Because we're going to have the voice of Texas State on next hour, Brant Freeman, to talk about the Pac-12 and the Bobcats' entry into the Pac-8/Pac-12. What are you most interested in? What do you think the storyline is going to be when the Pac-12 finally unveils here in a few days?
Okay, so I've had a chance to sit on some conference calls with Teresa Gold, the commissioner, and boy, oh boy, she's doing a good job. I sat on those conference calls and I believed. Now, mind you, I sat on some conference calls with Larry Michael Scott. And I did not believe.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, this dude, he was trying to convince us that men's and women's tennis should be held in the same esteem and given the same preferential treatment as football, who's making all the money. And that's not to say that those sports don't matter and those people don't matter, because they absolutely do. But I'm gonna give an example here. So so let's say that we're in a situation where I work and I got a stay-at-home mom, right? Granted, she has a very, very difficult job. But if I come home and I've got to take a quick nap, that way I can get back to work because I got a big presentation and all of this stuff, what is she going to do? She's going to either take the kids up out of the house or be like, listen, you better be quiet because your dad, he needs to take a nap right now. because she understands that as difficult as her job is and as meaningful, like they are equally as valuable. However, money matters.
Yeah.
and you can't pay bills with good intentions. So, and she understands that, and her whole goal for the Pac-12 is to be a disruptor. And she said that she wants the conference to be that she wants it to be recognized as a top 5 conference in college football.
All right, George, you and I have known each other for a minute, and I got to find out if this is true or not, because I found a nugget about you I didn't know. But I don't believe everything I read on the internet, so I'm going to ask you, were you on an episode of Cupcake Wars?
Yes, I was. It's either season 5 or season 6, episode 1.
Season 5.
Girl Scouts 100th year. Girl Scouts 100th year anniversary.
All right, so were you actually making cupcakes?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. So my family, we owned a bakery out here for a long time. We did a lot of events for the NFL, a lot of events for a lot of big companies, wedding cakes, cupcakes, everything in between. And yes, what you have found and what you heard was absolutely true.
All right, so next time you're up here in Eugene, I'm gonna get the kitchen out. You and I are gonna have our own little cupcake war. How about that?
I would be willing to bet on myself.
All right, well,
we won multiple awards for cupcakes.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, but we'll do it for charity. How about that? Okay, let's do it for charity.
Okay.
All right, let's do
I'm
that.
in on that.
All right, brother. Hey, thanks. We'll talk to you next week. It's gonna be game week, man. Got to get our game faces on, right?
Yes, sir. Need that.
Absolutely.
All right, George. Thanks, buddy. Take care.
All right. Okay, bye.
There he goes. Yeah. Cupcake Wars, man. I love finding these little things about our friends. I've known George for a minute. He never revealed that to me. He was on, it was the Food Network Cupcake Wars. It was the 100th anniversary of the Girl Scouts. Man, back could throw down in the kitchen as well. Talk football. That's awesome. All right, we come back. We'll hear from the head coach, the man, Dan Lanning, on his receivers, on the identity. I love that. I'm glad somebody asked this question. This is a question I always ask. The identity of your group, the character of your team. He was asked that question, so we'll hear from the coach of the Oregon Ducks next on The Drive.
Danny, Steve, and Justin are back.
And we always go to breaks exactly at the second you put on. We never run long or anything.
Exactly.
The Sports Animal Audio Network is on the air.
None of us ever go over because we just love that.
This is The Drive.
Send off summer with
At Mercedes-Benz of Eugene, we do things a little bit differently. We're one of the last independently owned automotive dealerships with a young and energetic sales staff, no pressure sales tactics, and you don't have to travel outside of Linn County to get the best deal possible. We have more than 200 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock now, and we invite you to come see for yourself at Mercedes-Benz of Eugene.
Get in on the end of summer savings and stop by Kendall Toyota of Eugene today. Kendall, let's start something great.
VIN number TM074169 and TA013908. TSRP of $42,002 and $41,970. $0 security deposit. See lease posting at Kendall Toyota of Eugene or call 541-225-5420 for complete lease details. All financing out of credit and all customers will qualify. Price does not include title registration or tax. Price includes $250 dealership admin fee. Subject to car sales. See dealer for details. Offer expires 8/31/26.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
I've seen it. I've covered it. I'm Alex Rogers, your local farmer's agent in West Eugene. When you need auto, home, life, or business insurance, Farmers can help you protect everything you've worked so hard to achieve. I really enjoy what I do, and I can help you understand all your coverage options. When I'm your farmer's agent, you're not stuck at the mercy of some computer. I'm your advocate when you need help. Visit my office today at 1154 Garfield Street here in Eugene, or give me a call at 541-284-2804.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107.
Consolidated Credit Solutions Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Kansas CSO 0019051. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 892. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission, license number TC83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debts may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action. Actual interest rates, length of program, and monthly payment reductions will vary by consumer and creditor. Yours could be higher or lower. Not a loan company. We do not lend money.
Our version of the Knucklehead Society have a place to talk sports and life with you. Broadcasting from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios, you're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
I always love talking to the minister, George Reister. Every single week during the college football season, we'll have the minister on Wednesday. So it's appointment radio. Thanks for tuning in wherever and however you are listening on the Sports Animal Audio Network. This is The Drive. It's Danny and Justin. Goose will be back tomorrow. So you got two of the three amigos.
Sounds like we've said that before.
Well, for at least one more week, he said.
We might as well call it it's the
summer
the
of
Drive.
Goose.
Goose will be back tomorrow.
Yeah, it's Wednesdays has been the summer of Goose when it comes to golf on Wednesdays with his wife. And listen, that's acceptable to me. If I was going to be able to do that, I would do that as well. So bully on him.
I'm not in the situation where I have to listen to my non-existent wife. So I totally understand. I cannot personally empathize, but I can understand.
Top of the hour, we'll have Brant Freeman, who is the TV announcer and going to be sliding into the radio chair as well for Texas State Athletics, as he will be the voice of the Bobcats as they enter the Pac-12. Let's jump into some audio from Dan Lanning. The Oregon Man Clinic's hotline, by the way, open for you at 541-844-3484, toll-free 877-844-3484, live from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios and in Roseburg and Medford, Newport, and Klamath Falls. This is The Drive. So Dan Lanning has been asked about his receivers, on the receivers that are other than the guys like Evan Stewart, Jeremiah McClellan, DeCorian Moore, because there is a loaded room. And so what say you, Coach, about the rest of that wide receiver room?
Yeah, I mean, several of these guys are stepping up every single day. I mean, I think Messiah's really come on the last few days. You've seen that from him. Jalen certainly had some flash plays. The stick out, Gatlin's had those. I mean, there's several guys that have been able to do that. Iverson, I mean, we've got a really good group of wideouts. It's going to be, okay, how do we figure out how to use these guys to their best ability, and, where do they fall in? And guys' roles, just like last year, roles can change throughout the season, right? You see Malik Benson playing now on Sundays, right? And his role wasn't big when the season started, and it was huge before the season ended. So I like that we have a lot of guys that are available. I like how they're growing quickly.
Okay, that was an interesting point he made there at the end. And if I'm going to make a guess of the guy that isn't those top three, which is what he was asked about, he's asked about Evan Stewart, DeCorian Moore, and Jeremiah McClellan. If I were to guess the guy that was in that Malik Benson sort of, not role like in terms of what he did, but that sort of, okay, he emerges throughout the season, I think I'm going to go Iverson Hooks. He's the senior transfer. He's the guy that he kind of has that little shiftiness that we saw to Tez Johnson. I know that you and Goose aren't as big of Tez Johnson fans as I
No,
was.
no. Yeah, I don't want to say that.
Well, you said Bo just stared him down and got a bunch of catches.
Well,
but
he
not
did,
necessarily a lot of
though.
yards. I think he was a great go-to
factual.
guy. It was true. I think that he did become that sort of go-to guy where we talked about hey, you need a number one where everybody knows you're to go to that guy. The defense knows, and he still gets it. I'm not saying Iverson Hooks is going to be that guy, but I think Iverson Hooks rates as a Tez Johnson. I think Jalen Lott's going to be awesome. I just think he's a little bit young. It sounds like Dylan Gresham's actually doing pretty well also. And then I think the real wild card here that I think we've all forgotten about, and we'll see what happens in the future, is Gatlin Bear, the guy that went on a 2-year mission. Sounds like he was,
and he is lightning fast.
He is electric.
He's a sprinter.
Athletically.
He's
electric.
He's like a Devin Allen in terms of his speed. That it's world-class speed is what he has.
Don't know how he's going to acclimate to football again after a couple of years, but it's exciting.
We'll find quickly. Dan Lanning on the identity of this particular group as a whole.
I think the piece that I've seen with this group throughout fall camp that sticks out to me is we've stacked really good practices back to back to back. And I think that's hard to do in fall camp when it becomes monotonous. But to be able to say, okay, we had a great scrimmage, Mondays, because it might be down a little bit. That hasn't been the case with this group. They come out and they work on Monday, right? Okay, we had a really good Monday. What's Tuesday going to look like? They come out and they have a really good Tuesday. I thought today was one of our better practices of the year, and it was shorter, but these guys really attacked it with an intensity and a focus. So being able to put great days back to back to back is something that this group's really been able to do a good job of.
All right, quick break and turn around. We'll reset the clocks and get ready for the next hour. But we'll be back in a moment and get you ready for the Party Power Hour, which is what we're calling it now. Sounder soon to come.
Yeah.
Here on the Sports Animal and the Drive. It's Danny and Justin, Doc and Baby J, and you and your phone calls next hour, 541-844-3484, 877-844-3484. Back in a moment on the Drive.
Live on stations throughout Oregon. We're sorry, we couldn't stop them.
This isn't a negotiation.
Broadcasting from the Emerald City, Eugene. Let's get back to the Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Men like to get the most out of things. We expect results when we hit the gym, and we expect to finish our weekend to-do list. We also expect ourselves to never slow down, even when some things start to get a little harder. Low testosterone levels might be slowing you down. That's when Oregon Man Clinics step in. Sharpen your focus, regain energy levels, and improve your love life with treatment options tailored to you. Get the most out of being a man. Visit us online at our Springfield, Bend, and Albany locations.
The plans you have for your property need the right equipment. Kubota has reliable tractors, utility vehicles, and mowers to help you make the most of your land, along with strong dealer support. Stop by today to explore our lineup. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0% financing or save up to $3,500, plus a first-year K-maintenance service on us. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer.
Mid-Valley Tractor in Eugene. 40 years, family owned. Find them at midvalleytractor.com.
Hey, sweetie, how was your day?
Good. Fixed a lot of cars.
What'd you do for lunch?
A fish sandwich.
You hate fish sandwiches.
I know, right? But we keep the radio on in the garage most of the day.
Okay.
We heard an ad for this place nearby, and they made this sandwich, and it sounded so good.
Really?
I got to say, I would eat that fish sandwich again.
So what'd you have for lunch today?
Pizza.
Let me guess, pepperoni?
No, this new place. They were advertising a Hawaiian pizza.
You don't even call that pizza.
I know, but it sounded so good on the radio, we all thought, let's try that place for lunch.
Really?
Yeah, I'd eat that pizza again. Oh, and we're knocking off early tomorrow. Me and the guys are going for high tea.
Who are you? What did you do with my husband?
Radio. It gets results. For all the facts and ideas about effective radio advertising, call this station, brought to you by Eugene Area Radio Stations, EARS.
Once the Oregon football game is over and you're stuck trying to get out of Autzen, waiting for traffic to lighten up on I-5, wouldn't it be nice to talk about the game? The Sports Animal has your answer. The fifth quarter call-in is a comprehensive look at the Duck game, the Big 12, Pac-12, and all the action from college football. Your calls, audio from the press conferences, and again, your calls on the Oregon Man Clinic's hotline, 541-844-3484, or toll-free 877-844-3484. Share your joy. Share your grief. Your opinion on the only call-in program covering the Ducks. The fifth quarter starts immediately after the game ends, here on your number one source for sports in Oregon, the Sports Animal.
Don't change the channel. Your radio might explode. Okay, not really, but you miss a minute of the drive, you might miss something, well, spectacular. On we go. The Drive is back on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
We're going to travel deep into the heart of Texas. Brant Freeman coming up. Top of our number 3. It'll be the 5 o'clock hour, Party Power Hour. I want to talk about this Akron Zips promotion. And the winner has been announced. They're going to call some plays, offensive coordinator in the first game. Nice. And they sold it out.
And it wasn't Barstool Big Cat.
And it was.
It sounds like.
Okay. We're not. I guess that's the reveal. It's going to come up next hour. So you already heard from Josh Wilcox, head coach of Harrisburg High School. We always like to talk about high school football here on The Drive. George Reister, talk a little pro NCAA because it's a blurred line right now. And we started out with Tracy Joyner, Oregon women's soccer coach. So it looks, and we're not done yet. We got Brant Freeman. So we are going to deliver on what was promised, a 4-guest program.
We did it.
Well, you did it.
Well,
we are
haven't
going
done
to
it yet.
execute. Well, see, now we just jinx ourselves? All right. Turn around, find out at the top of this next hour whether or not we jinxed ourselves. On the Sports Animal, stay tuned on the Sports Animal Audio Network. This is The Drive.
Sometimes they're right.
That's my case.
Sometimes they're wrong.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
But no ears were harmed in the making of their disagreements.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
So, how's your research?
At Mercedes-Benz of Eugene, we do things a little bit differently. We're one of the last independently owned automotive dealerships with a young and energetic sales staff, no pressure sales tactics, and you don't have to travel outside of Linn County to get the best deal possible. We have more than 200 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock now, and we invite you to come see for yourself at Mercedes-Benz of Eugene.
We buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Jansen Beach, Clackamas, Beaverton, Salem, and Eugene. Video Only.
Millions of Americans are glued to their TV weekly, watching a sport they love. Come and relive your childhood at A&J Sports Cards. They have a wide variety of sports cards and memorabilia. Eugene's home for collecting is A&J Sports Cards. Whether you're looking for the stars from the past or the present, you'll find them at A&J Sports Cards. They are here to meet your hobby needs. That's A&J Sports Cards, 1478 West 6th Avenue, 541-343-5561.
Even though the weather is getting warmer, many people in our community are still vulnerable and need your help.
Raven, Radical Assistance for Vulnerable Eugene Neighbors, is seeking donations to help those who need it most. Raven is asking for help with water bottles, raincoats, socks, shoes, blankets, tarps, and camping gear, or even a direct cash donation. Donations can be made at Raven distribution sites or via GoFundMe. For more information, visit our website, raveneugene.org. That's RAVEN, Eugene.org.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew. So here we go. First day on the job. Got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
KORE, Springfield, Eugene. I'm Steve Mims. You can listen to me on The Drive weekdays from 3 to 6 on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Welcome back to the Party Power Hour here on The Drive, the Sports Animal Audio Network. Klamath Falls, Roseburg, hello. Newport, what's up there? Seal Rock, Nye Beach, my friends at the Lighthouse. The A Sports Radio, Talent, Medford. White City, Eagle Point, Crater High School, and Central Point. We see you, Rogue River.
You just did your research, huh?
I lived there.
I know you
I
did.
was at Ashland. I went there.
You remember the beaches this time.
Scenic Drive. I did remember the beaches this time. But, I mean, my parents lived in Siletz, which was like a stone's throw away from Newport.
Yeah.
For
Siletz
many
Valley,
years
right?
on the Siletz River, right off the Siletz River. But enough about me. Welcome back to the third hour, the Oregon Man Clinics hotline. We're going to lock it up for a second. Toll free 877-844-3484. In Eugene, 541-844-3484, live from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios on all the social, Sports Animal, EUG, and streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch with our video portion of the program. And let's welcome in first-time guest, but a familiar program. We had some discussions last year with our friend Clint Shields, and Brant Freeman is going to be stepping into the radio chair this year. You can follow Brant at Brant_Freeman. Broadcast coordinator, TV announcer for Texas State Athletics, the Bobcats. He has been there for a while, since 2003, an award-winning broadcaster. He joins us right now. Brant, there's got to be, first of all, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm really excited to be on the Great Northwest. Out there in Oregon, it's a part of the country that we haven't visited a whole lot. With our time in the Sun Belt, before that, the Southland. So, looking forward to now getting to know more about, that part of the country.
All right. So first of all, you passed the first test. You said Oregon. So you got that one right. Beautiful. So the next one I'm going to tell you is it's Willamette. So you want to make sure you say Willamette whenever you reference anything like the Willamette Valley or the Willamette River and stuff, because most people screw it up and they say Willamette, especially in the Midwest, because there's a Wilmette in Illinois.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is welcome to the program as well. So you got to be excited. I mean, you have to be excited. The Pac-12, it's brand new. It's fresh. It's hip. It's the Pac-8, but it's still the Pac-12. And the level of competition is going to be at the point where Texas State can compete in this. And listen, man, we love your coach. We love G.J. Kinney. We just think there's some really good stuff going on in your neck of the woods. So what is the tenor of the fan base there in Texas?
I mean, it's really exciting. I remember when the move was announced last year, maybe the biggest news, the biggest development in the history of the university, certainly of athletics. I kind of think about where the school came from. You kind of mentioned my time at Texas State, aging me a little bit, so we'll just go ahead and say that I'm 30 years old. Anyway, back then there was known as 1AA. Now it's FCS, and they were in the Southland Conference and competing. Nothing against these programs, by the way. Certainly they were great for their time, but competing with the likes of Northwestern State and Nichols and Stephen F. Austin and back when UTSA was in the Southland too. And and football had struggled for a long time, even at that level. They were Division II national champions in the early 80s, moved up to the Division I AA ranks, and didn't have any success until 2005. And it was then when they finally won a conference championship, went to the postseason. They were on the doorstep of going to the national title game. And it was right around then when people were like, you know what, we got something special here. And it was 3 years later, they won another championship, again went to the postseason. And 3 years after that is when they moved up to the FBS ranks. The first, decade plus being at that level didn't go well. Now, the first 2 years, they were years 2 and 3, they were bowl eligible. But then from 2015 until G.J. Kinney's arrival, they never won more than 3 games. Attendance was just god awful, for football games, especially November when games are supposed to matter. And so if you would ask anyone pre-G.J. Kinney, or told anybody, hey man, by 2026, you're going to be in the Pac-12. I mean, of course, they're going to give you a funny look, ask you what you've been drinking, that kind of thing. And a lot of the fans that have been excited about this move are the ones that live those years, the lean years, the bad years, the non-significant years. And then G.J. Kinney comes on board. They're going full games. They're competing in their conference. And then the leadership here between athletic director Don Coryell and the University of President Kelly Damphousse, really spearheading just the ascension of Texas State and making this whole move possible. And so, being a part of that brand makes Texas State no longer feel local or regional, but now national. It feels like that the university and athletics have now arrived to be, and that comes in, with being a part of the Pac-12.
And it's funny. It's when you're talking about the rise of this program, it's almost counter to what the program we cover here in the Pac-12, Oregon State, where you would have told Oregon State fans, I think it was 2023 when they upset Oregon, 3 years from then that they wouldn't even be in the same conference as the Ducks. I think they would have been like the same thing, like, oh, you're drinking something basically. But It is interesting about this G.J. Kinney team because from what we understand, it's a fast, up-tempo style of offense. Maybe not quite as much as what folks around here are familiar with say, a Chip Kelly back in his time, but still a lot of up-tempo offense for this team. Just in terms of the actual football side, what do you think the biggest adjustment is going to be?
You think about, some of the programs that are joining the Pac-12, beyond the holdovers of Oregon State and Washington State, certainly, like a Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State. The athletes it's a different type of athlete than what, Texas State has been accustomed to in the Sun Belt. And that's nothing against the Sun Belt, which, by the way, has been one of the top group of 6 conferences. I'm losing track of the numbers.
That's fine. So we are too.
Over the past several years, they had a playoff rep. JMU was in the playoff last year. So the Sun Belt has great football. It's a very, physical Southern brand of football. In the Pac-12, it's what I've garnered by watching these programs. It's very athletic, a lot of speed. It's a different type of athlete. It's a lot of up-tempo offenses. A lot of innovation. And so it's going to be a new set of challenges, for Texas State. Now, it feels like the roster's kind of built for that, though. With the way that G.J. Kinney, as you described, likes to run his offense, the type of athlete that they have brought in. Some of them have been West Coast guys. The top receiver they have this season, Bo Sparks, a year ago, one of the top statistical receivers in the country, he started his career at Utah Tech. So anyways, their brand of football, I think, fits what the Pac-12 is going to be. But it'll be interesting to see how they acclimate to the size, the speed, and the athleticism that these other programs have to offer.
Follow him at Brant_Freeman. Brant Freeman, the voice of the Bobcats, as Texas State enters the Pac-12. And you were just mentioning Sparks. He was the 84 receptions, 1,200 yards, and 10 touchdowns last year. I want to talk, though, about the guy who's flinging the football to him. Texas State's Brad Jackson was named to the 2026 Davey O'Brien National Quarterback Award preseason watch list. And entering the sophomore season following a record-setting campaign last year, he was the Armed Forces Bowl MVP. He completed passes for 3,200 yards, 21 touchdowns, 71% completion percentage. I mean, I could just go on and on about the numbers and the records. He also is a fairly fleet of foot as well on the ground, 17 touchdowns, 744 yards. I mean, this guy is a true dual threat. So when the Pac-12 defenses get exposed to this guy, I mean, holy smokes, how are they going to be able to contain him?
That's a great question. One that not many Sun Belt teams could answer.
Right.
This past year we went through the numbers. Brad Jackson, when he came in, he was he was a true freshman, got some playing time behind a starting quarterback who transferred in from James Madison as the reigning Sun Belt Player of the Year. So he didn't get many reps in 24.
Mm-hmm.
And 25, G.J. Kinney, look at the course of his head coaching career. Every quarterback he had was ready-made. They were transfers. They were seniors. They had a lot of notches on their belt, from college football experience. He never worked with a guy who really had none. Certainly nobody as young as Brad Jackson. And he just explodes onto the scene as a freshman last year, to the point where Bobcat fans were almost worried that he was too good. The day and age of college football, the transfer portal, basically non-Power 4 players are openly auditioning for Power 4 programs. And so there was a concern that he might get poached, but instead he decides to stay, as his top targets did as well, in both Sparks and Chris Don. And so he's a dual threat guy, as you kind of went through. I think he was top 5 in the country in rushing touchdowns last year, no matter the position.
Mm-hmm.
And he's only going to get better. I mean, those numbers you went through, those are redshirt freshman numbers.
It's crazy.
And really it feels like, he was so poised a year ago. It felt like, he's been doing this, he's got 36 starts, or he's got 4 years under his belt. Not the case. But now that he has that experience, I feel like he can only get better. And it's the game's most important position, arguably the most important position in all sports. And this is the best they've had at that position in probably all my years of covering the program.
Yeah, and I think you're right. It is the most important position in sports. And you're also right that there's a level of irony of just a guy playing so well that you're like, well, maybe don't play quite as well as you're playing right now. We want to keep you.
Right.
I want to flip it to the defense. This is a team that Don Terry Russell is back. He finished second on the team last year with 4.5 sacks. They brought in Philip Bradford from McNeese State. What do you see as the key, or maybe the most important players on the defensive side this year?
Well, if you look at the secondary, Ryan Nolan is kind of the quarterback of the defense at that safety position. Terrence Cooks will be a very important part of the linebacking core as well. They have a new defensive coordinator this year, Will Wyndham, who previously was at South Alabama. So he has a lot of familiarity with Coach Kenny and Texas State, South Alabama being in the Sun Belt. And Coach G.J. Kinney's defense. I mean, offense is certainly with his side of the football, but he has wanted DCs that have that aggressive style. Blitz the quarterback, get into the backfield, TFLs, and create havoc and force turnovers. So it's been a very high risk, high reward type of defense, where they have made a lot of plays, for behind the line of scrimmage and forcing turnovers. But at the same time, it's also led to some big plays given up. And you look at some of the final scores from last year, and especially towards the early to middle part of the season, they were giving up lots of points and lots of yards, so the offense couldn't, as good as they were, hard to keep up. And we know how good the offenses are going to be in this league, in the Pac-12. And so with Will Wyndham now in place at the DC, some holdovers, from last year's defense coming in, there's some optimism that they'll be able to hold their own. But arguably it's the biggest question mark going into the year because the offense is such a known commodity.
He's the voice of the Bobcats of Texas State Athletics. Brant Freeman joins us here on The Drive. It's the Sports Animal Audio Network statewide in the state of Oregon. Thanks for tuning in wherever and however. Coming up tomorrow, we'll have Matt Dompe, the Godfather. Eugene Emerald's going to be in the studio, and Angie Machado. We are going to talk Oregon State with Angie and the new quarterback that was named this week by Jamarcus Shepard. So, Brant, as we wind things up a bit, what is the level of success that Texas State fans are expecting in this Pac-12? I mean, it's wildly different. You're playing teams you've never seen before, geographical areas you've never been to before. So, I mean, what is there a reasonable litmus test for success in Texas crazy football country?
Well, the bar here has been raised, right? I mean, for fans, when GJ Kinney got here, they were just, can we please get to a bowl game? And they've done that.
Yeah.
And so I think now that's like a baseline. But okay, the next step is conference champions, or at least playing a conference championship game, maybe host one, and then, I don't know if, I don't think it's a realistic expectation for fans this year, but they certainly, would think that we can get there, and that's being the conversation for the college football playoff.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a reasonable, next step, ascension for the program. So with the talent they have back, with the coaching staff that they have in place, they believe that we should, bottom line, we should get to the postseason, which is great, but, can we do more? I talked to a lot of players last week, and they're talking conference championship here. So, they want to put their stamp on this conference right away, which, it's great to have that type of confidence, and hopefully that comes out, in the actual play on the field. It'll be a great non-conference schedule they have going into Pac-12 play. I mean, they're opening the season in Austin against, Coach Sarkisian in Texas. They play a long-time rival in UTSA in the home opener. They got North Texas as a part of their non-conference schedule, and then they get into conference play, opening up at San Diego State. So, it's going to be very exciting to venture into the Pac-12, and hopefully they can meet those expectations.
And it's just a situation where it feels, I'm not going to say unprecedented, but it's such a unique situation to see a school have such a rise like this. Is there another school that you could say is a comparison, or a school that maybe Texas State is like, oh, they want to be like this school, like what they did? Can you even think of anything like that?
It's funny. I mean, I think a lot of people point to one of the schools in this conference, Boise State, right? I know we're going back to 2007 here, but
we can, man. Well, it's fine.
Yeah, that Fiesta Bowl of theirs, it made everybody realize, what, the little guy can do this too, kind of thing. So I think they have been a model, for a lot of programs to follow. And so, I think a lot of Bobcat fans have pointed that it will have taken them longer to get there than it did Boise State. But that's the type of ascension, I'm going to use that word again, that they would like to emulate. They're not going to paint their field. Okay. That's not going to happen, but, but everything else, that's come with Boise State success, they would like to, make that their own. And you look at the other, non-P4s that have made the playoffs over the past few years, like a JMU, again, for this past season, for an example, that's what they want to become. And I think that, and those are great goals to have.
Well, I got one last question for you, Brandon. It's going to come out of left field. Baby J knows where I'm going to go here. Is there any way you can put us in touch with somebody from Win Now or Get Bent?
Oh, yes. I know you were asking that because the name itself is so silly.
Absolutely.
But and that thing was born, I don't know, 8 years ago or so, when the team was struggling and fans were desperate for a winning program, and that just got thrown into the ether, and the guy that runs it just ran with it. His name is Kev Ciardello. I've known Kev for many years. He was a student at Texas State. Shortly after I started professionally, in covering the team and the program. So I've known Kev for a very long time. I'm happy to pass along his information, and I'm sure he would be more than happy to start a relationship with you guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to be our reporter for Texas State and give us some help on our pregame shows. Thanks, buddy. Hey, have a great, give our best to Clint and his family, okay? When you talk to him next, could you?
I will. And thank you for acknowledging that.
Yeah, absolutely, my friend. We're going to have you back. Oregon State travels down there, I believe, in the first week of November to take on the Bobcats. So we'll have you back on maybe before that as well as check in with you, see how life is doing down there in Denton. How are you doing? Okay?
Hey, guys. Sounds great.
All right. There he goes. Thanks. Brant Freeman. Yeah, good young voice. There he goes. He's going to be taking over the reins down there in Denton for Texas State and the Bobcats jumping into the Pac-12. All right. So when we come at this next segment, I've got on the old sheet here, SEC to suspend coaches who add NFL players, NFL bans NCAA defectors from returning, which we
talked about this yesterday.
So Goose was like, the NFL doesn't care. They obviously do if they're making a rule, right?
No,
they care a little bit.
100% with you.
All right. So Goose is going to regret that he missed the program today. And you have succeeded on all fronts, my friend. Come on back on the other side, my friends. Open phones for the rest of the program. You heard a lot of content, and we want to hear from you now. 877-844-3484, toll free. And in Eugene, 541-844-3484. This is The Drive.
Danny, Steve, and Justin are back.
Yeah, and we always go to breaks exactly at the second you put on. We never run wrong or anything.
Exactly.
The Sports Animal Audio Network is on the air.
None of us ever go over because we just love that.
This is The Drive.
At Mercedes-Benz of Eugene, we do things a little bit differently. We're one of the last independently owned automotive dealerships with a young and energetic sales staff, no pressure sales tactics, and you don't have to travel outside of Lane County to get the best deal possible. We have more than 200 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock now, and we invite you to come see for yourself at Mercedes-Benz of Eugene.
Summer, the sun, the sand. How could things be any better? Actually, you know what sounds kind of good? Chicken bones. Yeah, that would make things better. All you could eat wings for $27.95 and dollar beers from Cold Fire Cold Store. That would really make things better. Ooh, and the sauces. The sauces are to die for. In fact, now I'm kind of hungry. Oh, man. Now I need to go to Chicken Bones.
Make no bones about it. Chicken Bones has the best wings in Lane County. All you can eat wings, great sauces, and awesome burgers. Open daily at 11 a.m. on Pioneer Parkway in the Safeway Center. Check us out on Facebook or call 541-726-0111. That's 541-726-0111. Chicken Bones, chicken with an attitude.
It kind of sneaks up on you. You're more tired than you should be, a little less focused, a little less motivated. Maybe you've gained a little weight. It's normal. A lot of men experience it, but that doesn't mean you have to live with it. At Hale Men's Clinic, personalized testosterone therapy can help you restore your energy, your clarity, your edge. Real solutions, real results. Hale Men's Clinic. Feel good now. Curious about your levels? Walk into Hale Men's Clinic in Eugene, Bend, or Roseburg for your free testosterone test today. More info at halemensclinic.com.
A college security officer called to tell me there was a drinking party on campus. The officer said there had been excessive drinking and our son was in the hospital for alcohol poisoning. He said my husband and I should come as soon as we could. I knew my son would face distractions and temptations when he went away to school. He already had unfortunate experiences with alcohol, and he was a little too good at fitting in with the crowd. I had no idea things could get so much worse so fast. A nurse suggested we attend Al-Anon family groups. Even though our son claimed his drinking was no big deal, he said he was not an alcoholic and that he could quit whenever he wanted. I didn't want to go to an Al-Anon meeting, but I'm sure glad I went. If someone's drinking troubling you, you might be surprised at what you can learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
Our version of the Knucklehead Society have a place to talk sports and life with you. Broadcasting from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios, you're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
Who is the most overrated NFL team heading into the season? You have thoughts? Chime on in. 877-844-3484, toll free in Eugene. The number is 541-844-3484. The Oregon Man Clinic hotline, statewide. I know there's some people in Klamath Falls who have a thought on the most overrated NFL team heading into the season. Maybe in Roseburg on the Score, possibly in White City on the Ace, or, in Newport, or Nye Beach on KNCU 92.7. Also, Pat Murphy is benching a player for not hustling. That came up yesterday.
Did not work out for him, by the way.
No, it did not. Can we start with this Akron Zips story?
Yeah.
Can we do that first? So, by the way, you have been waiting. We had a big show today.
With bated breath.
Brant Freeman, we just heard him from Texas State. Started out with Tracy Joyner in hour number 1, Oregon women's soccer coach. Harrisburg High School coach, Josh Wilcox. George Reister, our dear friend, from everything and sounds like more coming up. CW, The Unafraid Show. He does Talking Ducks with Aaron Fentress from the Oregonian. And he's also on 3.
And there's a new announcement next week, apparently.
That's what he said. And then
So stay tuned.
We heard from Dan Lanning as well. We'll have George on every week. Next week's going to be a blast, dude. We got college football front and center. It's going to be awesome.
Finally.
Yeah. And we're also on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, which is the old video part. Hello, kids. All right. So Akron, the Akron Zips out of the MAC, they came up with I thought it was a really cool contest, but this was directly involved with you had to buy season tickets and stadium suites. So they said they're going to, everybody who bought the season tickets or stadium suites, we're going to get put into a raffle to give somebody a chance to call plays along head coach Joe Moorhead, which Joe Moorhead, if people who follow Oregon football, for a half second, he was here as the offensive coordinator. I mean, he was a blip.
I remember him being
2
not
years.
too bad, though.
No,
he got a head coaching job out
Yeah,
there, so he was pretty
went
good.
to Akron, so it garners national attention. And then it garnered national attention for the wrong reason because they announced the finalists, and a couple of the finalists were like a influencer and Big Cat from Barstool, right?
Yeah, Bardo, who is a YouTuber who covers college football, and then Barstool Big Cat.
Barstool Big Cat,
who everybody knows, basically.
Okay, well, if you do. So it was a wild success. They sold out their inventory of their 17 suites for the first time since they opened the stadium in 2009, Justin. This is what I'm talking about. Now, this is a revenue generator. The other thing with South Alabama was more like, let's have some fun with this. Yeah, and it did. It got clicks. So they announced the winner. Here's the winner. The winner is Marty Wims II. Not a name people know, which is really good for Akron that they didn't draw the name of Barstool, Big Cat, and the other guy.
Did they mention where he's from, or
So I'm reading through this, and I
saw that some of the people in those finalists were actually from the area, which I thought was good.
So it doesn't. No, he's from the area.
Good.
And he's an alumni.
Excellent.
He's alumni of Akron.
That's exactly who should win it. 100%.
And he's the CFO of Stark. Oh my, he's the CFO of Stark Enterprises. Tony
really?
Stark. he's this guy who's the CFO of Iron Man.
He snapped Thanos, aka Barstool Big Cat, out of existence.
I didn't realize this. He is. It's right here. It's the chief financial officer.
He's not a nobody then.
Stark Enterprises. And so Marty has been.
I'm surprised that's not like trademarked.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I just saw it, and he's held season tickets since 2009. So he's going to get to call plays in the first game right there. That is really cool. I would absolutely, for a chance to do that, I would absolutely have done that. absolutely would have had a chance to do that. So good on Akron for doing it. They're hosting Robert Morris in their September 12th home opener, and that's when they're going to pay off the raffle. So good for him.
Do you think anybody from Robert Morris decided to enter?
Ooh, that would have been interesting. But
Right?
they would have had to buy season tickets
secret
or a
agents?
suite.
That's worth a win to me.
Well, so
that's worth a W.
So now didn't John Gruden also do this?
He did. Yeah. He entered at least.
Yeah, but he didn't win.
No, he did not.
And he did that just because it was like, that would be cool, man.
All I'm saying, if
I could
I'm
do
Robert
that.
Morris, it's like that great story about Texas and Oklahoma. I don't remember the names. I think it was Mike Leach who left the playbook that was the wrong set of plays for the other team.
Oh, he did that on purpose. Yeah,
Yeah.
he dropped it on
Yeah.
purpose. Yeah, that's a true story.
I think a Robert Morris situation like that could have been fun.
Man, I'm just telling you, the things that the old Pirate did, I got to cover him when I was in the Monster Energy. It wasn't Monster Energy Big 12 at that time. He was fantastic. Like I told you, he was on my show back when I was in Kansas. It's great. All right, when we come back, we'll get to this SEC NFL thing, okay? We'll do that in the next segment. If you want to call in, please do. Toll-free 877-844-3484 on the Oregon Man Clinics hotline, 541-844-3484. Last half hour of the Party Power Hour here on The Drive.
Live on stations throughout Oregon. We're sorry, we couldn't stop them.
This isn't a negotiation.
Broadcasting from the Emerald City, Eugene. Let's get back to The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
At Mercedes-Benz of Eugene, we do things a little bit differently. We're one of the last independently owned automotive dealerships with a young and energetic sales staff, no pressure sales tactics, and you don't have to travel outside of Linn County to get the best deal possible. We have more than 200 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock now, and we invite you to come see for yourself at Mercedes-Benz of Eugene.
Things. We expect results when we hit the gym, and we expect to finish our weekend to-do list. We also expect ourselves to never slow down, even when some things start to get a little harder. Low testosterone levels might be slowing you down. That's when Oregon Man Clinics step in. Sharpen your focus, regain energy levels, and improve your love life with treatment options tailored to you. Get the most out of being a man. Visit us online at our Springfield, Bend, and Albany locations.
Almost every car made over the last 10 years has a camera. Did you know that when you replace a windshield, the camera needs recalibrated? If your glass provider doesn't fix the camera, you could have issues with safety features like forward collision alert, adaptive cruise control, or emergency braking. Don't trust some guy in a truck to fix or replace your windshield and then have to make a second appointment to calibrate your camera. You need Olson's Auto Glass, 2041 West 7th Avenue in Eugene. Olson's Auto Glass, repairing windshields since 1938.
Where do people in Eugene, Springfield go for their boating needs? Maxim Marine. Maxim Marine sells the industry's top boat brands, Thunderjet, Bolton, and Fishrite. New or used, you can find the right boat and accessories for you. If you're in the market for a new motor, Maxim Marine carries the finest outboards, including Suzuki, Yamaha, Mercury, and Tohatsu. Need repairs? Maxim Marine is your factory-authorized service center located right here in Eugene on Highway 99. Maxim Marine, for all your boating needs.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107.
Consolidated Credit Solutions Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Kansas CSO 0019051. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 892. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission. License number DC83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debt may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action. Actual interest rates, length of program, and monthly payment reductions will vary by consumer and creditor. Yours could be higher or lower. Not a loan company. We do not lend money.
Don't change the channel. Your radio might explode. Okay, not really, but you miss a minute of The Drive, you might miss something, well, spectacular. On we go. The Drive is back on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
Angie Machado tomorrow from Beavers Blitz, as Oregon State is just 10 days away from their first jump into the 2026 campaign. We'll hear her thoughts on the new anointment of a quarterback in Corvallis, Braden Atkinson.
I think she had a little inside information.
Absolutely,
the
she
last
did.
time we talked to her.
Absolutely,
and she did not reveal anything. So good on her for that. But now the news is finally revealed,
out.
And now we can chat with her about it.
Absolutely, and also we'll have the Godfather Matt Dompey from the Eugene Emeralds. Not sure he's going to break any news with us, but we're absolutely going to push him.
We're always ready for news to be broken. Always ready.
Listen, we're not the hot take guys. I mean, if you've listened to the program now for a few weeks, and thanks, by the way, everyone in Roseburg and Newport and Medford, Klamath Falls, and points in between, we appreciate your support. And you can chime on in toll free on the Oregon Man Clinics hotline 877-844-3484. That's toll free. 541-844-3484 is the number there. You heard from Brant Freeman already, the voice of Texas State. George Reister covering the NCAA, especially the Ducks and the Beavs, really well. Josh Wilcox, the head coach of Harrisburg, as the Eagles are jumping into the 3A ranks. They were a 9-man team last year, so now back into 11-man football for the head coach and the former Junction City graduate, Oregon great, and NFL player. Tracy Joyner, the Oregon women's soccer coach, she's getting her team primed up for the rivalry matchup, the Civil War, tomorrow at 6 p.m. at Pape. If you missed any of that, go back to the podcast, Sports Animal EUG, on all of the podcast platforms, and also on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, the video portion of this program. As I said, dad joke coming up. All right, so it's been much discussed and is going to continue to be discussed. SEC is now going to suspend coaches who add NFL players, and NFL is now banning NCAA defectors, which I don't know. I don't know if I like that term, but I'm sure that's the way it was phrased, from returning. So there's a two-way street here, and now coaches with the penalties. And so what's interesting here, and I want to ask Angie about this tomorrow, because I was reading that the two players, Jaheim Patterson and Wells, I can't remember his first, Van Wells, were still like practicing with Oregon State, and they fall under this 5-for-5 thing, which is part of, it's not the NFL NCAA back and forth thing that we were talking about, but the 5-for-5 was kicked out as well. So apparently they don't have eligibility, but they're still practicing. So it's two separate things, but they kind of collide because it's all about eligibility. Who can play, who can't play. And I think on the side of the NCAA and the NFL, they're actually aligned for once on something.
Yes. I mean, and it was interesting. We were talking yesterday with Goose about who has the responsibility in these situations. And we also had another question that was answered, and it was
I say it's shared. Right?
And I agree. I think Goose was the one that was saying more.
NFL doesn't care. Roger Dale could
the
care
NFL
less.
hasn't cared. I mean, a lot of things.
They've
have the Saturday
demonstrated
games,
that.
they
Yeah,
have,
you're right.
They have the Christmas
we don't
games.
care when you're playing. We're going to go right into your wheelhouse.
But it is interesting. They did rule that if a player goes back, that they wouldn't enter the draft. That they basically would be, I believe, a free agent. They're considered a free agent, not something that they could. If this guy Daquan Wright, and he's not going to be able to now, but theoretically, if he went back to college, he doesn't all of a sudden become draft eligible then. So that's something I was really curious about. But no, I mean, I think that this is a shared responsibility. Like, you can't sit here if you're at the NFL and go, woo-doo-doo-doo-doo, like, whatever, like, we don't care. Like, this is a shared, like, this is all football.
We're going to
right?
do woo-doo-doo-doo. You got to do that again. That's got to be a drop through. Woo-doo-doo-doo-doo. What are you?
Yeah,
that's
I'm
like you're one step away from yodeling there.
I don't know if I could yodel, but I can whistle with my hands. I can do that. It's a skill I have. But I think that the NCAA and the NFL definitely share some responsibility here. And I think it was interesting. And it's funny. I wish I would have said it on, I think it was Monday when we were talking about this before either the Big Ten or the SEC. It was kind of the only course of action that the conferences were going to be the ones that were going to be the quote unquote adults in the room and sit there and go, okay, no, we're not going to allow this.
And they all stepped up. And that's where I think you made a good point about the Big Ten kind of leading the way. It was like, we're not going to waffle on this, came out, make the decision, boom. And then everyone else on the Power Four followed suit, like Cask and the Monster Energy Big 12 apparently under their vote just did the same thing, which is like, are they going to be the only outlier in this? ACC, SEC already said yes. So they're not going to be the only ones standing out there. They're not going to do that. But I still think that if this goes a different direction and the courts like kind of open things back up again or whatever, the schools like the Oregon States and such, they will definitely jump right back into the fray on this.
Should.
Well, absolutely, they should.
This is where they should basically find their little in, right? And have a player that's like, hey,
it can work
come
for
here.
them.
You can bring your talents to us.
What is so in business you talk about ROI, return on investment. So what is your ROI, or what's the worst thing that can happen
the risk
to you?
Here?
Right.
Nothing.
There is nothing.
Right?
There is zero risk.
I mean, okay. The risk
Okay, no, there's not zero
it's
risk.
Not zero, but I mean like
pretty close to zero.
Like hyperbolically, yes, there's no risk.
Wow. Okay, big word. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get Brad to correct my pronunciation on that one. Sorry, Brad. But I think, we could sit there and say there's no risk. Of course, there's some risk of you bringing in a player and they haven't been there for very long, and there's other guys that are already there. The stuff that Dan Lanning's talked about and has been very well quoted on in terms of the responsibility these schools have to just protect their own players, right? So that is a part of it as well. But I do think that for the most part, like it's a shared responsibility. But if that's at the same time, if I were an Oregon State, or if I was, I don't know, someone in the Sun Belt, for instance, then I'm absolutely going to take advantage of that.
So Coach Mark on the YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch video portion of this is asking the question. I'll read it out to all the radio folks. Is that if the Big 12, the Monster Energy Big 12 said no, how is TTU, Texas Tech, getting Castellanos? Well, it is a bit different because there was a court ruling in his favor and an injunction. So when he can hide behind the injunction for now, and so TTU can go fold him in as a backup to Will Hammond and be safe for now until another court comes in and says, nope, you're not eligible either. So this is the whole thing. We're fighting this out for eligibility in the courts, and players with their agents and their families are being very smart about this. They're going to find friendly judges that can allow this to happen in terms of giving injunctive relief, because there's really no backlash on a court system to say, you know what, we need to pause this so we can examine it a little bit more. They're not saying yes. They're saying pause for a second. Well, that allows the door to open. Now, it's how long is it going to get litigated? And then does a university become liable after that point if the judge turns around and says, you know what, they were not eligible, and they've already been practicing or playing? And so then what's the protection to the university, or what's then the penalty to the university? That's more of the question. That's going to be the bigger question in this. So I just think we need to take it out of that arena and have a commissioner, have someone that's going to say, you know what, here's a hard and fast rule, and I'm going to rule on these individual cases myself. Because that's what Roger Goodell does. That's what Adam Silver does. That's what Rob Manfred does. They are the ultimate and final authority within their sports. Now, if you want to change the entire way that it's being bargained and such, that goes through the Players Association. That's where we're going to next. George just brought it up. George Reister brought it up. We're going to get to a CBA for college athletics. We're going to get to collective bargaining. They're going to be in unions. That's the next step now.
Right.
That's absolutely the next step.
Right. As it goes to Castellanos, there was a deep drive to left field, and that will be a home run to make it a 4-0 ball game. Sorry, I had to throw Tom Brenneman in there.
That's fine. That's
so I'm trying to find a way to work that in there.
And
I do think it's funny though.
And Coach Mark, by the way, Coach Mark, we just made that point. He says commissioner has to have a CBA to have any authority. That's the next step. Is that we'll have a CBA and we'll have a commissioner at the same time. That's what's going to happen in college athletics.
I think the thing is, I understand completely why any sort of fan has any sort of confusion of what's going on. Because if you're not up to date on the hour of this stuff, you literally have no idea what's going on. Which guys are which cases and who's eligible for what and why. It's so confusing at this point.
We are going to get to a point where the fans are going to have fatigue over it. It's going to be, we can't even tell who's eligible to suit up anymore for our teams.
Well, I would think that, so we're here in Eugene, right? And we're here in Oregon, where, there's Oregon and Oregon State are kind of on two different sides of this thing at some point.
Kind of insulated.
That's what I'm saying. I think that outside of the bubble that we're in, we might already be seeing that, but I just don't think that might have it imperviated where we are yet.
That's the second big word you've used in this segment. Imperviated?
It might be impermeated. I don't know.
Brad?
Where's Brad? What do you need?
Brad's the word police. Toll free 877-844-3484 in Eugene, 541-844-3484. We'll step aside. We still need to talk about who's the most overrated NFL team heading into the season. Overrated. This is interesting because
I got a good answer.
Okay, I'm sure you do.
Answer.
And if we get to it, Pat Murphy benches a player for not hustling. Paul Skeens returned to form for the pod. I don't know if we'll get to that or not. We'll find out. One more segment, right? We got one more segment?
Yeah.
All right. Then we're done with the Wednesday show. Just Danny and Justin. No Goose today. He'll be back tomorrow. Dad joke coming up as well. Stay tuned on The Drive.
Sometimes they're right.
I rest my case.
Sometimes they're wrong.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle.
At Mercedes-Benz of Eugene, we do things a little bit differently. We're one of the last independently owned automotive dealerships with a young and energetic sales staff, no pressure sales tactics, and you don't have to travel outside of Lane County to get the best deal possible. We have more than 200 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock now, and we invite you to come see for yourself at Mercedes-Benz of Eugene.
$1 for your old TV. Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into video only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Hi, this is Drew from Dalton Carpet on West 11th in Eugene. Dalton Carpet is family owned and operated and proud to serve you for 30 years. Now more than ever, someone you know is walking on a Dalton floor. Do you have a flooring project? Get your summer off to a new start. Lane County's best selection with hundreds of rolls of carpet and thousands of feet of click-together flooring on display and in stock right now at unbeatable prices. Come see us today at Dalton Carpet, right here on West 11th in Eugene.
Millions of Americans are glued to their TV weekly, watching a sport they love. Come and relive your childhood at A&J Sports Cards. They have a wide variety of sports cards and memorabilia. Eugene's home for collecting is A&J Sports Cards. Whether you're looking for the stars from the past or the present, you'll find them at A&J Sports Cards. They are here to meet your hobby needs. That's A&J Sports Cards, 1478 West 6th Avenue, 541-343-5561.
Your best coverage of the Oregon Ducks is this fall right here on the Sports Animal Audio Network. 3.5 hours before every Oregon football game, we will be live with interviews, a breakdown of the game, coverage of all the games in the Big Ten, Pac-12, and Top 25, along with ways for you, the fans, to join in. If you're in Eugene for the game, we'll be live from the Mercedes-Benz USA Eugene lot on MLK Boulevard. Stop by for some treats, games, and the best coverage of the Ducks by anyone. The Unauthorized Tailgate Show. We might not have the official stamp, but we wipe out the competition on our coverage. This fall, each week, the Unauthorized Oregon Tailgate Show, presented by Mercedes-Benz USA of Eugene, our friends at Coquel Casino and Resort, Tracktown Pizza, Mid-Valley Tractor, and the Back Nine.
In school sports, it's easy to see the wins, the moments that make headlines. But there's so much work that goes unseen for any of it to happen. My name is Phil Risen, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Throughout the country, athletic administrators dedicate countless hours to making life-changing opportunities possible for student athletes through sports. Their sacrifice is fueled by the belief that every student can grow and deserves their time to shine. On behalf of the NIAAA, we want to thank every athletic administrator for your tireless dedication to providing 7.8 million students across the country a path to a better future.
This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Danny, Steve, and Justin are back.
Yeah, and we always go to breaks exactly at the second you put on. We never run long or anything.
Exactly.
The Sports Animal Audio Network is on the air.
None of us ever go over because we just love that.
This is The Drive.
Last segment time on the Party Power Hour. We're on live in Newport at KNCU, A Sports Radio down in Medford, The Score in Roseburg, and AM 960 Sports in Klamath Falls. I'm Danny. That's Justin. Hello. And we're also on the YouTube, Twitter, and the Twitch. I am not going to be a commissioner. Thanks, Mark, for the vote of confidence. The Sports Animal Audio Network back tomorrow with a Thursday program. We'll have the Godfather, Matt Dompe, the Eugene Emeralds general manager, in the studio for a regular visit. They made the postseason by winning the first half of the Northwest League, and they still have a half game up on Vancouver in the second half. 73 wins, 47 losses. That's the overall record. But they know they're going to be playing in the postseason. So we'll talk to Matt Dompe as we get closer to that. It's about another week and a half away. They're in the waning moments of the Northwest League season, long season for the Eugene Emeralds. And then we'll also have Angie Machado on the program tomorrow, which will be fun. We'll get to talk a little Oregon State. Yeah, love Angie. Ace, as we call her here on the Sports Animal. And, of course, you can also join us on all the socials. Sports Animal EUG, sportsanimal.eug.com. That's the website. YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch as well, live from the Bigfoot Beverages studios. All right, so who? So it said who is the most overrated NFL team heading into the season? You want me to do this first? Or do you have one?
I'm ready whenever you are.
To me, I kind of have two.
Okay.
I am, and so
I can give you two.
Okay, so I think one of these people are going to go, well, just because you're the fan of the Dallas Cowboys, I think are overhyped. I think they've missed the playoffs 2 straight years. They got a brand new defensive look, another revamped roster. Oh my gosh, they're going to be so good. The only thing that's going to save them is they don't play in the strongest division. And I'm not sure, if the Giants are going to punch up or the Redskins. Jaden Daniels is everything for the Redskins. So if he stays healthy, they might have a shot there.
Who?
And then Philadelphia. Who?
Never heard of the Redskins.
Oh, sorry.
Just kidding.
I call them.
That's not an NFL team. I'm just joking.
The Commanders. Listen, I still call the Guardians the Indians. And then the other one's Kansas City Chiefs. It's an old roster, dude. That's an old roster. Old.
They're old, but they also have a lot of rookies they're relying on, too.
Yeah, but listen,
which I don't like.
Listen, I don't think Patrick Mahomes makes it through the entire season again. I think he gets hurt again. I'm calling my shot right now. So those are my two, Dallas and Kansas City. Overrated, because you said overrated.
Yeah, overrated.
And Kansas City, again, I think you're in that same division. I think the Chargers are going to be better. And I think Denver's going to get the Super Bowl.
Denver.
So
I like it.
So that's just out of their own division. So, all right, go.
Okay, I'm picking two teams. I think the first one's kind of one everybody's on, so maybe they're not completely overrated. The Patriots, I think that's a team that, looking at last year, that's not the main one. The main one I have, and yes, I'm going to go with you. It's because maybe I'm a Packers fan, but I don't think so. I think the Chicago Bears are getting a little overrated coming into the year. Let me tell you why.
Here it comes, Caleb Williams, hater you.
Cover of Madden, by the way.
So you're hoping the jinx is going to be in effect? Is that what you're saying?
On this radio station, I'm not sure about all the other ones, but we listen to Colin Cowherd almost every day talk about how awesome the Bears are going to be. Let's not forget.
Because he's in Chicago. Okay, he's preening to the crowd.
7 of their wins last year were by less than 7 points, including multiple 1-point victories. In the playoffs against the Packers, the only reason they won, and we have that drop. I can get that up there.
And that's fine. You don't have to.
The only reason they won was because the Packers basically collapsed. I almost give the Packers more credit for collapsing than the Bears actually winning that game. We hear about how much Caleb Williams, how great he was. He was actually awful against the Rams in the playoffs. And yes, the Bears were in that game, but I actually think that Caleb Williams was the reason they lost that game. So I'm hearing all this talk about, oh, Caleb Williams and the Bears and Ben Johnson. Wow, Ben Johnson, he's so good. He's the best offensive coordinator / head coach. And I'm not completely sold yet, to be honest with you. I still think I'm a little bit wait and see on the Bears. Maybe that's the Packers fan in me that just is just not going to see it with them. I do think Caleb Williams is a very talented quarterback. I'm not actually anti-Caleb Williams, but I think based off of what we saw last year and the fact that they did make the playoffs, but I could see a scenario where, all those one-score games go the other direction. They're not making the playoffs. So have they gotten that much better from last year? I'm not so sure. They did get Dylan Thieneman, obviously, that we're big fans of. So we'll see what happens there. But I think the Bears are that team that I think they're very hyped right now. I'm interested to see if they meet that hype.
Well, that's our opinion.
What are your thoughts on the Bears?
I don't know.
Am I being biased here?
I think a little bit. I think there's a little
like
divisional.
I just don't want them to be good.
I think there's a little divisional bias going on in your mind, but that's okay. That's what fans should do. I have no bone to pick with you about that. I just say, one, I think that there's going to be a progression in a positive way with the offense under Ben Johnson. I do. I don't know about their
maybe.
Well, okay. I don't know about their defense. And
they didn't add much there. They didn't add much.
No, that's why I don't know about their defense. I mean, but listen, I could make the same case for the Detroit Lions. I could make the same case, honestly, for the Green Bay Packers, but they're not being overhyped or over pushed into, these guys are going to be Super Bowl contenders.
The Vikings,
Yay!
I think, are interesting. I think that all goes based
JJ
on
McCarthy might get cut.
That's crazy.
Would that be nuts if
that
happened?
That would
so
be
that when's
nuts.
cut down day? Is it Monday that it comes? I think it is. It's Monday is cut down day. Sunday night into Monday. We're going to find out. I mean, they're not going to carry that salary to have him be a QB3. Well, absolutely no way.
And that would be insane if he's behind Carson Wentz.
And I've got a huge buddy who is a massive Minnesota Vikings fan. And I'm sure he's going out of his mind right now. But I don't think he was a big JJ McCarthy.
But they're all in on Kyler
Murray.
now.
Oh yeah.
But we'll see how good Kyler Murray's going to be.
They're drinking the Kyler Kool-Aid.
Let's forget Kyler hasn't been a world beater over the last 5 years.
Yeah, maybe with a new address, sometimes it helps. All right, dad joke for the day. What do you call a duck that gets all A's? A little duck humor here. What do you call a duck that gets all A's?
Duck that gets all A's. Not me.
Oh, a duck that gets all A's? Well, he's a wisecracker.
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 I like it.
All right. Back with the show tomorrow. Goose will be back in studio. So will you. For Baby J, I'm Doc. God bless. Be well. Put a smile on your face. Someone else's. They deserve it. So do you. Thanks for listening. Peace.
At Mercedes-Benz of Eugene, we do things a little bit differently. We're one of the last independently owned automotive dealerships with a young and energetic sales staff, no pressure sales tactics, and you don't have to travel outside of Lane County to get the best deal possible. We have more than 200 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock now, and we invite you to come see for yourself at Mercedes-Benz of Eugene.
Studios. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Audio Network.
When you're in Rome.